you, and when I defang the Viper, trust me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put you out. I don't even know why you're out here right now. Keep on talking. Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group? And Mustafa, you out here, a boy among men. And I'm gonna tell you what, you got lucky at the Rumble, so I know you're gonna come out here and run your mouth about how bad you are. But let me give you a little bit of a reality check. You see, Mustafa, you said that my eyes don't lie. Well, your eyes don't lie either, because last week, they were closed real tight when I put your simple ass to sleep. And AJ, hey man, be honest with me. How's our old girl Wendy doing?
Welcome back to the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast. It's me, Hafiz, and with me as always is Devin, and we are about to break down a whole lot of wrestling here. Man, basically the way, let me just give it to you guys how we're going to do this. So WarGames is going to be the core of this episode, but we're definitely going to talk about a little bit of AEW, a little bit of Raw and SmackDown, just give you a little bit of dabbles of those. But the core of it will be, we're going to, Tribal Chief, we're definitely going to talk about the Tribal Chief. We're going to talk about a little bit about Big E. We're going to talk a little bit about, let's see, well, I wrote down also Sasha Banks because I want to talk about that main event that they had on SmackDown. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns and how this storyline's going on, and also Keith Lee. We got a little note on Keith Lee here.
Oh yeah,
we got to bring up.
We're cooking up something nice, man. We got a lot of spices in the cabinet right now.
Yeah.
Little this, little that.
Exactly. So let's I don't know where would you, because there's so many things that we could talk about here. I guess what jumps out at you right away.
Let's just get it out the way. Get it out the way, sir. For WarGames.
Okay.
Let's get out the way for this Pat McAfee.
No. We got it. We can't start with WarGames. We're gonna hit these notes first, definitely, and then we'll get into WarGames. I know. Hey, Pat McAfee. When we get to WarGames, that'll be the first matchup we talk about.
See how I'm just ready to get this over with. I'm like,
you trying to get to the recap right off the bat? No, man. All right, let's talk about AEW. Let's go there. Let's just talk about Kenny Omega. Let's get that one out the way. Cool. So, everybody knows by now Kenny Omega is the world champion, the AEW world champion. And he and Don Callis ran off and went to a limo, a truck, a vehicle that was waiting for them. And they were saying, hey, you're going to find out on Tuesday. And so the shocker for everybody was Tuesday. Holy shit. They're going to Impact AEW. They're having this battle of the brands, however you want to call it. Like there's going to be this crossover. That's sick. So we're going to see the AEW champion on Tuesday. So I'm anticipating. I was mad at first. I was like, man, these dudes are going to make me watch Impact. Oh man. So that was my first reaction, to be totally honest. Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty cool because I haven't seen Impact in a while. Right. And I'm curious to catch up and see what's going on. So I'm like, all right. And then I got mad all over again. I'm like, wait, Tuesday, that's a week away. Ah, shit. Like I was mad again. But, waited it out. Then Tuesday hit. I was like, damn, it's Tuesday. Oh, I got to see this tonight. So I was real excited for it.
How did you watch it?
Tuned in. I watched it. It was on YouTube.
Okay.
It was on YouTube.
Okay. So you caught the replay?
Yeah, they actually had it on YouTube.
Did you watch
it?
I
caught the replay. So it was actually on Wednesday morning that I ended up seeing it. Not live on Tuesday.
Okay.
Or was it Tuesday night? Now I remember. But anyway, I saw it on YouTube because they had the whole thing on YouTube. I was like, damn, this is cool. So saw it on YouTube, and it's funny. Impact is a little bit different. It's a little bit different in terms of the energy level. There's no artificial crowd. No. There's no
real crowd.
Developmental in the crowd. There's no Thunderdome.
No,
it's totally different. So
really bare bones.
They're doing it's bare bones. It's bare bones. But after a while, I got used to that. So I watched the whole thing. I saw all the matches. And actually, before we get to the Kenny Omega part, I'll just talk about Impact a little bit. I have an appreciation for all the indie companies, going out there and doing their thing. So it was fun, seeing, some of these faces, seeing Eric Young, out there, that was pretty cool. just being like, oh shoot, and he had this mask on and he came out there and he's a big deal out there. So that was cool. The Good Brothers weren't a part of this episode. So I was like, I wish I could have seen them. So, that was unfortunate, but I think next week.
What did you think about the women's division?
Okay. So this is where I was going.
Right.
You making me go straight to it. So if memory serves me well, you said that the women's division on Impact is just as good as the women's division in NXT.
I did say that. It could give NXT division some competition.
Okay. And I'm going to say blasphemy. Blasphemy. Look, those women they're talented. They're doing a great job. That's fine. But there's levels to this. There are levels to this. Look, they did their thing. They tried, but hey, shots fired. The NXT women's division, they crushed that division. They crushed the Impact women's division.
Hey,
yes.
Explain the levels then. Explain the levels. Because clearly I'm not seeing the levels.
Not when so we're not going to get into WarGames right in detail right now, but you look at those teams in WarGames. Who would you say is like the weakest member of either team? Like, okay, on Shotzi's team, who would be the weakest member on Shotzi's team? Would it be Shotzi?
Shotzi, yeah. I think it'd be Shotzi.
She's the only one that's never been champion, right? So it'd be Shotzi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if Shotzi went to Impact right now,
she's a star already.
What's happening?
She's a star.
She's a star. She's a superstar.
You made your point.
Done.
You made your point. You made your point.
Deanna Purrazzo, who's the champion, she was on NXT.
Yeah.
She could barely get TV time. Sorry to say, hey, she was great in the Mae Young Classic. Loved her in the Mae Young Classic. The submission skills, it was great. She was great. She even was on Raw or SmackDown for a little bit. It's not her fault that it didn't work out because we know how that shit goes when they go up to the main roster. They don't treat them right. So I'm not counting that. But on NXT, it was like she was truly developmental. It felt like on NXT. So, and that's right now the queen of Impact. And I'm telling you, Shotzi Blackheart goes over there right now. It's a wrap. They are riding her to the moon. To the moon. They are taking her all the way. No. She's on everything. She's the main event every night. I'm telling you, she's taking over.
I don't know if I want to co-sign to that, sir. I don't know if I want to co-sign because you haven't been watching. I got at least good 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
so
fair.
You had a small sample size, and you didn't really get to see a true representation of the Impact Women's Division. I guess you just saw it in the tag team setting, and that was it. So, and then you see the Impact Women Champion that loses.
If you just take a random episode of NXT, like even this week, the main event this week on NXT, you had Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon, just randomly. You could just say, hey, this week, what happened? Hey, well, it was just, I don't know, Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon in an amazing matchup. It's like a 5-star matchup that just happened on a random Wednesday. I hear what you're saying, and I want to see more. It made me want to see more, of all of Impact, to be honest with you. And with the women there, I do feel like there is potential there. I feel like they're definitely better than the AEW women's division because they I don't know, AEW. Go ahead.
So what do you think about? So maybe I was looking at. I think that's what I was looking at from an Impact. For Impact, I was looking more of an in-ring ability, how I compare in-ring ability for the women's division to the AEW's, women's division. And when I compare it to NXT, that's what I say. It will give NXT some competition because when you look at the tag team division, put a character aside for the Impact Women's division, they put on a nice show. It was a clinic.
Yeah, they do.
Rosemary was strong. Jordan Grace was clean.
Rosemary's good, but see, for me, Rosemary, a lot of that was, for me, like character, her character, her presence. She has a sick entrance. Love that. But in ring, that's tough because we talk about Toni Storm, and Rhea Ripley. I mean, come on, man. I can't. For me, I'm
Give it time.
I'm such a fan
I'm gonna give it time,
of the NXT women's division.
I know
It's
you
up
are.
here. Like,
I know.
I've sit up here and said the NXT women's division is the best division in all of wrestling. Like, WWE, like Raw, SmackDown, New Japan, like I feel like they crush everybody. So it's not just the shot at Impact.
Oh, yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like these are the best.
It's cream. It's cream.
These
of
are
the
the best of the best.
Right.
Yeah. So, but they did their thing. When I was watching them, I was like, man, I'm getting on Devin for this one. Like, he went and compared them to the NXT women's division. This is the one thing I'm gonna get on you
there. I put my name on there. It's like, oh, I'm gonna destroy him with this shit. How dare you, sir?
Oh man! But I'll keep watching, give them time. Let's see what happens, But yeah, that NXT women's division is still they're on top, man. They're on top, and to me, there is a gap. There's a gap there, but it's okay.
I think you made a point. I
got respect for them. I like what I saw.
Yeah, I think you made a point that I didn't see clearly. Because like I said, I was just looking from an in-ring ability, which is crazy. Usually I look at from a character standpoint, and you're more the in-ring ability, and here you go.
The in-ring.
You're looking from a character standpoint, and I'm on the opposite, looking from in-ring ability. That's how crazy is that shit. But yeah, and for how you break it that way, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because if you was to take Shotzi out and plug her into Impact, she's a superstar already.
Superstar. Superstar.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, and it's no disrespect, but if you look at that team, when you take Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai, it's just like, and Shotzi. And even with her, it's like, to the moon.
Yeah. And we're saying that's the weakest link.
Then that's the weakest link. And she's a beast.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yeah, man. So, but okay, so let's get to the Kenny portion. So, they're in the actually you break this part down, man. Like what did you think of Kenny on Impact?
Oh, I loved it because he was trolling and I loved it because he gave a promo, told us literally nothing about about what is his plan. All he did say, I love to collect things. I consider myself some sort of a collector. I was like, oh, really? And he told him how he
comic references, Action Comics number 1.
Comic references as what the AEW title and what the AAA title represents. I was like, oh, that was pretty nice. And automatically, I'm like, holy shit, is this his his new persona? He want to be the collector. He want to go to different various wrestling promotions and take the title. You want to collect the title, because you saw a little tease with on Impact when Rich Swann? He was looking to go, getting ready to leave.
Oh my God. So disrespectful. Oh man. So disrespectful. This is the Impact champion.
Yeah.
He wants to go over there. And they're like, nah, I'm sorry, man. You ain't on the list.
He was like, what list?
The champion is back there.
He was like,
I
am a champion.
I'm the champion. I am the champion of this company. No. You're not the champion.
Yeah. Kenny Omega.
That guy. Kenny Omega's here. Whoa.
Yeah. And then Josh Matthews, comes out like, yeah, Josh Matthews should be on the list. Yeah, you cool. You can walk by.
Yeah, you cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But
oh my God.
I love everything about that promo on Impact. Them doing switching the nameplate on the title as well, doing it for the first time.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And Don Callis being Don Callis, he's it's so hilarious because he's pretending like he wants to answer a question, and then he'll just come back and just not even answer the question that you answered him. So I believe that's just hilarious to me, man. And then, oh my God, cocky, low key, confident Kenny Omega. I am ready for him. I don't think we're getting the cleaner. I don't think we're getting New Japan. I think we're getting an evolved version of New Japan Kenny, because this is something different, and I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah, I love that promo. Just like you said, the cockiness. There was one time Josh Matthews asked a question. He asked a question about like, it was something kind of disrespectful to how Kenny had won the title or something.
Oh.
Like, did he feel like he had like embarrassed or disgraced or something like that?
Yeah.
And Don Callis kind of cut him off like, what? Who do you think you are? What do you?
Wait a second.
What?
Wait a second.
What kind of question is? I vouched. I said, hey, I put my name. It was kind of reminding me of what Paul Heyman with Kayla, when Kayla was asking Roman Reigns, like, hey, like, are you afraid of this person? And they're like, what? What did you just say? Like, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Just like the interaction with Josh Matthews was cool. I love when Don Callis was like, hey, do the thing. And he's like, oh, the thing. Oh, you want me to do the thing? And Josh, do you know the thing? Do you know the thing? And then, of course, it's the good night and goodbye. And then the bang at the end. And then they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. That was amazing. He's like, yeah, that felt good. I was like, oh man. That was cool, man. I love seeing that.
And then he shows up on AEW and gives the exact same
promo. It was the exact same thing.
He knew what he was doing.
Verbatim.
Trolling people. People getting upset on Twitter. You just gave the exact. He was like, oh, I didn't. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I love it, man.
Like, word for word. Yes. I was like, man, I'm the visible hand behind everything.
I'm like, hold on.
Is that? I could replay what he said on Impact, and that's exactly what he's saying right now. Dude. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Oh man, but it was cool. It was cool. That was they kept building up to that, throughout Impact. They kept showing the bus in the background. At AEW, he came in on a helicopter, so that was kind of the little bit of a difference there. So yeah, man, it was cool. I don't know how this is gonna go for the rest of the year, because apparently they had taped, all of Impact for the rest of the year before this had happened. So I don't think we're gonna get much like in-ring with other wrestlers. They did some stuff like with Tommy Dreamer. Yeah. I think they probably retaped that stuff with Tommy Dreamer to say, hey, I've seen this before. I don't like this. This usually doesn't work. And then with Rich Swann, like you said, that part was funny. So they can be creative with it and kind of throw that stuff in. But overall, I don't know. Hopefully they get him interacting with, say, Rich Swann to address the disrespect of like treating him like he's a second class champion essentially right now, even though he's the guy in that company.
Yeah. So that could be a good story to tell, man. But what do you think of the backstory of Kenny Omega telling, like, this wasn't like 2 weeks in the making. This was like decades, 27 years in the making.
I think it's they're heels, so them saying stuff like that, embellishing a little bit, going through all that. I kind of went with it, and I was entertained by it overall. I don't buy that. Oh, they've been doing this since then or planning this since then. But I do like when Don Callis mentioned, like, hey, this goes back to when Kenny faced Jericho, and he put the idea in Tony Khan's head, and it's almost like he and Kenny birthed AEW. So you're welcome. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Like, I like that, because there's some truth to that. There's some facts to that, to where they can say, this is kind of us getting the receipt. Like, this is us getting paid back finally for everything we've done in the background. And so I don't know. I like that, and like them taking that going forward, like, making, rubbing that in Tony Khan's face, rubbing that in the AEW universe's face, that, hey, you all are here. This is all here because of us. Like, we are the reasons. We created this.
You should thank us.
And you're welcome.
Right.
So yeah. It's kind of like when Jericho was saying, like, I deserve, like, I'm still waiting for my thank you. It's kind of like that. So yeah, man, it's I loved it. I love the whole them as heels kind of like taking credit and talking about this plan, this long-term booking, like it's cool. I like it.
You think they're coming up with some type of invasion angle, because how what Tommy Dreamer was saying in that promo, what he was alluding to. Like, I've seen this before because he's part of the ECW invasion angle. So, just a recall to that.
Yeah. I think you know what? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure because, like I said, for the rest of the year, I don't think we'll see anything along those lines of like AEW versus Impact. Really, it just seems like everybody's against Kenny. Even on the AEW side, they don't really appreciate what he did.
Yeah.
So there isn't much animosity between the two brands, but maybe they'll start to build that little by little, start planting the seeds. There was something about the Motor City Machine Guns and the Young Bucks and the history that they have, and maybe rekindling that somehow. The Good Brothers, that would be amazing to see them, going over to AEW and, crossing paths with Kenny and like, let's see how that goes.
One half of them already did. It was a bit because, not AEW, Impact had their pay-per-view or their network special, if you will.
Yeah.
Called Final Resolution. And there was a segment between Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and Carl Anderson.
Ooh, okay. I didn't catch that.
Okay. Yeah. If I find it, I'll post it to our one of our social platforms so everybody can see. And then you two, I'll tag you in it.
Yeah. All right, so that's cool. So that's something to look out for. But yeah, man. Overall, like I think it's going to be interesting. It's great for wrestling. There's a lot of great things happening in wrestling right now. That's just making just fans from a I guess to flip gears a little bit from a nostalgic standpoint. Like Sting, coming back, like that's been really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing an invasion, like two brands crossing over, like that's cool. Just a lot of great things just going on in wrestling, just making things fun,
man.
I mean, like, and I brought up Sting, and I don't, he wasn't on the list of, of things immediately we talked about, but man, we can't skip just what happened this week with Sting because that was something, that whole interaction with Cody and Sting was actually great, man.
He was great on this man.
Started out with Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone was about to leave. He's like, "Oh, don't leave, man! Like, dude, I missed you, man. Like, I loved all the times that you would say it's Sting. Like, one more time, can you just do that for all of us here? Say it's Sting." And Tony Schiavone goes, "Okay, it's Sting." And he was like, "Yeah!" Like Sting's having fun, and I'm like, "Wow, what?"
Man.
But you know what? It's so funny because in my mind, I've seen too many movies, man, because there was, for some reason in my brain, I was like, this is almost like in a movie when someone's getting ready to like assassinate or murder somebody and they just like treat them real nice. He's like, "Yeah, man, you're great, man. Come over here. You're a great guy." And then, do that thing. And then they just take him out back and murder him. Like, I feel like, oh my God.
They give him the Joe Pesci routine, man. In Goodfellas. "Yeah, man, let's go get a bite to eat. Let's go right here. Yeah, look in the car."
Exactly.
Gunshot.
I was like, is he about to murder somebody? Don't do it, Sting. Don't do it. But yeah, man. So he has that moment with Tony Schiavone. That's cool. And then Cody starts, intervening. He's like, "Okay, yeah, it's great. It's great that you're back. Yeah." Like, you can tell, like, Cody's not all that happy about what's going on right here.
You can say he sounds annoyed.
He seemed a little bit annoyed. "I guess I should be thanking you for, interjecting and coming down when you did." It's like, yeah, you probably should because you were getting your ass whooped. So, yeah, a thank you would be nice. But, and then Sting looks at him. He's like, "Cody, relax. I'm not here for you." And right there, I was like, oh, what the fuck? So he's like, "I'm not here for you." But, there's something familiar about this. Something familiar here. And he starts looking up and he looks in the stands and he's like, something familiar. And he points right in the way of Darby Allin.
In the chair like this.
And
then when he get pointed out, he's like this.
He sat up. But he never said Darby's name, but he did point him out. And I was like, oh, that's good, Sting. I like that. And he's like, like, I plan to be here for a long time. But how I choose to play the game is my business. And I'm like, all right, like I like that. He's not gonna lay his hand out, his cards out.
He's a vet in this game, right?
right. Because Cody wants answers. Cody wants to know what he's like, I've been waiting to be in the ring with you for a long
EVP,
time.
damn it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Sting's not giving him what he wants, but he's like, he brought him in tight. He gave him a hug, man. Hey, bring it in, Cody.
That's a disrespectful hug, man. Right. Treat him like a little ass kid.
Yeah. Like,
stick around, kid.
Bring it in. Stick around. Oh, man. Get the paint on. Right. Yeah. Give him a noogie, basically. I mean, see around.
Man, I thought he wanted to give him a noogie, man. You almost had him. He
might as well have. He might as well. That was so great, man. I'm like, wow, Sting. Because for me, Sting, I've respected him. He's a great performer, great competitor. I was never the biggest Sting fan, to be honest, though. Yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, Sting's here, cool, all right. This right here, man, like I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. He was having fun. He was saying, "This is awesome." Like he was doing stuff that I'm like, Sting, wow,
he's just super confident, man.
And just, I think too, just having a good time, literally just enjoying himself in the moment. It's like sometimes wrestlers just break character. They're just kind of like, all right, like this is bigger than, this is bigger than, just going along with, kayfabe or whatever. And he didn't break kayfabe and everything he was doing, but it was still kind of like, Sting is usually that stoic, like quiet character. He has the bat, the big trench coat, and he points his bat at whoever is his target, and that's it. And he'll just disappear. Lights go out, lights come back, he's gone. Like that's typically Sting. This Sting was like almost a blend between that Sting and like
80s Sting, bro.
80s Sting, like 80s, like 90s, early 90s Sting with the multicolored face paint where we just
almost
have a good time.
Ultimate Warrior-esque mask used that.
Well, Ultimate Warrior face paint, It felt more like that. I'm like, I like this. I like him just having fun. Whatever he chooses to do with this, playing the game on his terms and having a good time, I'm like, make it that. Hell yeah. Like, just have fun with it and give Darby Allin that rub because he can use it, man.
You can use it right now.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel right now the momentum is starting to die out. So let him get that rub from Sting. Let's have a couple of segments. Let's see what we build up between these two subjects. Daddy and son. Get together.
Daddy and son, yes. Oh, man. You just made me think about someone in NXT. That's something I got to remember to talk about. When you said daddy and son, there's something like the family, the Gargano family situation. Yeah. That's getting kind of funny. We'll get into that. Dude, that was
your boy's on one, bro.
We're talking about that. Dude. Gargano family. Oh, man. So yeah, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about. So there's something you sent me. It was a little shot of something that I think from Vince, something that he was saying around some of the bigger guys in WWE, some of the heavyweights. So he was saying like he's not impressed, he's not happy with what he's seeing from certain guys, and one name in particular two names stood out to me. Otis was one. And Keith Lee. And he was talking about them going back to the Performance Center to get training on just being just better in the ring. When I read this, I was like, wow, really? Like, you're going to sit here and criticize Keith Lee and Otis, but I'm going to focus more on Keith Lee because that one pissed me off a little bit more than Otis. Like Otis, I think he does his thing and it's what it is. But Keith Lee, this man, you grounded him. You don't even let him do what made him famous. And then you want to criticize him for trying to adapt to what you're trying to do and taking away what made him great. What are we doing? What are you talking about? And then you're telling him he needs to go to Performance Center to get better in ring. What? The audacity.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I saw that, I saw red a little bit. I admit that. I was a little bit frustrated. I'm like, really? And then I began to calm down and think about like, well, it actually makes sense because since they decide to ground him, so he's probably wrestling a little bit different that he's not comfortable with. So maybe Vince McMahon wants him to clean up some of these moves now, and so he can start wrestling more of a big man style and not more of a cruiserweight style. So because it brings me to that. You seen that special with Keith Lee? You didn't see it? No. So it's a little segment. After he got done with his match, it's him in Gorilla Style, him and Vince McMahon just having a little talk. He's letting him know, like, hey, you're great, but you gotta make me believe. Gotta make me believe. And when he said it, it didn't really sit too well. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Making him believe? It's fucking Keith Lee. You know what I'm saying? He's Keith Lee. Shit. I'm like, what is he talking about, bro? So, and then to see the news there, to see that news, it feel like, I'm like, okay, this, after getting upset, getting frustrated, it all makes sense now. All right. Because now you decide to change up his wrestling, the way he wrestles now. He's not the sky high cruiserweight mixing in with power. You just want him to be more of a power wrestler, which he's probably have to get used to. Something he probably haven't wrestled since learning to wrestle, maybe, man. So this is probably the reason why he's going back to the PC, man. So those are my 2 cents on that.
Well, even hearing that, I'm still ticked off. It didn't help at all. Like hearing that, like I get where Vince is coming from, but he's wrong. Like that's just the way I think about it. Like this man, Keith Lee, was on. He went to 2 of your pay-per-views and stole the show. Yes, he was at Royal Rumble, killed it. He was at Survivor Series, was standing face to face with the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, and killed it. That crowd was eating it up. And believe what? The crowd believes. It's like Vince just refuses to if it's not his creation, if he didn't put his stamp on it, it's like it doesn't exist. Like the crowd, cheering for Keith Lee it didn't happen. Or it happened because, like with Rusev, like, oh, yeah, like they're just making fun of you. There's Rusev Day. Like, no, they're buying his merch. Oh, we ran out. It's just, we didn't make enough of it. Are you serious? Like, bro, come on, man. Like, Keith Lee is going out there killing it. Just have Keith Lee have a matchup with Dominik Dijakovic right now on Monday Night Raw. And let's see if the crowd believes that that's an awesome fucking match.
Not going to happen.
Like, come on, man.
We're going to get Keith Lee against Retribution.
It's just, you know what's sad? You know what's sad about this? I feel like I'm starting to forget like how great Keith Lee really was. Like it's almost like when I watch Keith Lee, now I'm like, did all that really happen on NXT? Like sometimes I forget, like, yeah, he had those classic matches with Dominik Dijakovic, and he was like doing moonsaults and
Spanish flies.
Showing that athleticism, Spanish fly. Yeah. Like, yeah, did the Spanish fly really happen with him and Dominik Dijakovic, or did we all just have a group like we all just fantasized and made that
was
up,
in the Matrix,
like all together,
a wrestling Matrix. We was part of.
We just dreamed that up. We just all made it up. All the NXT universe,
right?
The all wrestling fans of Keith Lee. We all just made up that this man can do a Spanish fly just effortlessly. Like, really? And Vince is sending him to the PC to clean up his wrestling.
Oh,
are you fucking kidding me? Like, this just doesn't make any sense. Man. Just. I swear Vince McMahon doesn't watch NXT.
He doesn't.
I swear he doesn't watch it. He does not watch a minute of NXT.
Maybe Triple H. I know he only has so much power, but man, bro, you got to step it up. I'm sorry. You gotta just like let your dad know, like, nah, NXT is my shit. You're not gonna start fucking up the roster. You're not gonna fuck up Keith Lee. You're not gonna fuck up EO if she eventually comes to the roster. Like that is not going to happen on my watch, Dad. Okay, Dad.
No. Yeah, exactly. Just. Because clearly, Triple H and William Regal, on the team down there, they saw what Keith Lee, they believe.
Yes.
Because they made him the champion. They made him the first ever North American NXT champion. They clearly believed. But, he goes to Raw, and Vince now make you believe
Put
what?
On a shirt. Put on a shirt.
What? Change my music.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Big man, you need a shirt.
Cover me up. You change my music. You grounded
like
me.
This music, Keith.
Like,
you're rapping your own music? No. Give you some new music. New music that you can rap on.
Literally, like that probably wasn't his idea. That was probably Keith pushing for it. He was like, all right. You go ahead and do it. Let's see how it sounds. We'll let this one slide. Jeez.
Triple H owes me this.
All right. Oh man. Well, all right. Let's go from Keith Lee to Big E, man, because that's another guy that has been like in terms of a push, like. Yeah, well, from someone who it seems like things are not going so great, and now they're getting sent down to someone who's actually getting a push in the Intercontinental title picture. It's about damn time, because even for a while there too, even though they said they were pushing him and they split him from the New Day, what was Big E really doing? I mean, he was back in catering, kind of making jokes and doing stuff, and that was cool. But now, he had a match with Sami Zayn. I didn't like the ending of that matchup at all. I really didn't like the fact that they did the count-out thing.
Is that his thing?
That sucked.
Is that what makes him the strategist, the ultimate strategist?
Yeah.
Getting count-outs. What is that?
I hated it for Sami. Dude. I think it's more than 2 weeks, because he did it to Apollo like a while ago.
That was smart, because he actually tied him to the ring. This was actually like...
Yeah, but it's still the count-out.
Yeah, but I like...
It's like... I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it for Sami, because Sami now, it seems like all of his before all this, before this whole gimmick, the strategist, like Sami was a great wrestler. So now it just seems like the only way he can win is to run around and get count out victories. He's not doing barely any wrestling anymore. Man. It's like, what the hell, man? This is Sami Zayn, one of the best wrestlers.
The cardio workout.
I won't go so far as to say like a top 10 wrestlers, but. Yeah, he's great. Like, Sami Zayn is great in the ring, and he just isn't. I don't know. I just don't like it for Sami. The promos are great, but the in-ring, it's like, come on, we got to be more creative than this. The countouts, no. And then for Big E, it just made him look kind of stupid, honestly, in that moment. Like, silly. He was smart at one in the beginning, where Sami tried to trick him, because he had even been saying, to Big E, like, yeah, try that with, or Big E was saying to him, try that with me. And then when Sami tried to get him counted out, Big E went out, then went back in and caught Sami by surprise. He was like, oh, wow. But then he did again later on, and Big E actually followed him out there, went underneath the ring. And I'm like, Big E, what are you doing? And then he got counted out, and I'm just like.
I was like, really? We're doing this again?
Like, I didn't even have a reaction. I was just like, yeah.
I just said, really? I'm like, another count out for this dude. This is just bad booking for Sami.
Yeah.
It doesn't help Big E at all.
No. So that was terrible. But let's talk about talking smack, with Big E. So that was interesting. So why don't you break down what happened with Paul Heyman?
Oh man, so talking smack post show, and who's the host? Caleb Braxton. Usually they kind of just have somebody in a routine of color commentary to help out Caleb Braxton, either R-Truth, and then this time it was Paul Heyman. And then they had Big E come up there, and he spit some true words that I didn't even realize they needed to be said until he said it. I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember word for word. So he was just saying, basically, you're gonna have in the next 10 years, you're gonna be like one of the great wrestlers, basically. You're gonna be big, but you need to understand
Hall of Fame career.
Hall of Fame career. But you need to understand that that the New Day is nothing going to be is anything is going to be a footnote in your career. All right, and it's like, to prove my point, I refer to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? When he's in the ring, when do everybody mentions the Shield? And I was like, damn. Man, I had to send that. I had to send that video out, and I cut it up, put a little edit on there, put the message on there from what was it? Don't drink your juice in the hood, boys in the hood while drinking juice.
Don't be a menace to society while drinking juice in the hood.
Message. And I was like, wow, and I was like, wow, I actually understand that, man, and I hope Big E truly understands that, because right now he has new music, which is great. It's coming out, bringing out the whole Big E Langston Powder thing, which is cool. That's more to his singles career. but he's still rocking the New Day, gear. I get it that you want to show your honor, you're part of the New Day. I think that's great, but if you drop the gear, that's not going to make me forget about you being part of the awesome tag team faction New Day. I just think it would be best for him to drop the New Day gear and go full fledged, man. If you're gonna dive in, don't put your toe in the water. Just dive in, put your whole body in that water, man.
Yeah, it's man, it's an interesting it was an interesting promo or interesting segment, interesting interview, and words of wisdom from Paul, which seemed to strike home because it was just silence. Like Big E didn't say anything. Man. Afterwards, he just kind of sat there and like listened to him, talked to him, and give him that advice. So that was interesting. And I'm kind of, I hear what he's saying, and I am kind of in that same boat where I ponder it, and I'm not sure if it has to be the way that Paul says, but I don't think it's bad advice. Mm-hmm. I feel like what the New Day has is unique, and they are just such a presence in the WWE and for fans that it's hard for me to just say like, for him to be great, like the New Day has to be a footnote for him because of just how great. Like, to be honest, as great as the Shield was, they weren't the New Day. Like, they never got as popular as the New Day. They don't have the fans' hearts like the New Day does. Like when they split up, it bothered people. Like it hurt. It hurt. For the Shield, it was kind of like, all right, we kind of expected this to happen because all three of these guys, like, you could see
all superstars.
This is limiting. This is all right. It felt like the Shield was kind of like holding them back. It was holding Roman back. It was holding Seth back. It was holding Dean back because there's no 3-man tag team championship. And then even I don't know. There was just something about it where I felt like even though it was cool with them being together, you could tell like these guys are being groomed to be singles champions. Whereas with the New Day, it felt like they were truly, truly brothers on and off camera. Oh, yeah. And I mean, up, up, down, down is on camera, but we got to see them just in their element, and they seem to truly, genuinely have that bond. And I think the fans love that about them. And I feel like that's part of the reason why Big E is as popular as he is now is because of, the bonds he has with the New Day. If you take that away, where Big E was before the New Day, he was almost done. He was good. Like, he was a good in-ring competitor, and they tried to do some stuff with him and Dolph, and then he broke away from Dolph, and then it was, I mean, he was Intercontinental Champion before.
Yeah, but he was just floating out there, though, man.
He was floundering, right. And then it wasn't until he found the New Day that, all three of them really found their footing, and then Kofi used that as a launching pad to greatness. And I feel like Big E, in a way, I hear what Paul is saying, but I also feel like the New Day is why he's where he is now. So you could, in that same way, use the New Day as a launching pad, but also to try to make a name for yourself in a way too. Like, I don't know. It's tough. I thought it was cool, and it made it. What's great about it is it makes you think about that for Big E. What does that look like? Does he truly need to do that, or can he do it while not letting go of the New Day complete? And what does letting go of the New Day really look like? Is it just gear, or is it him just literally just not mentioning them anymore? Like, what does all that mean for him? And that's not really a question that either one of us can answer. It's just kind of like it's one of those you just have to see. I don't know, like, because I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there.
So, like, you don't think
it's just
so you don't think Big E, with the New Day right now, or since he split from the New Day, but right before he split with the New Day, you don't think he was hitting a peak? Do you think he needs to? I don't know, man. Because the way Paul, so he just worded that, it kind of just it I don't know. It was like an epiphany right there. Like, wow, that actually makes sense. Like, maybe the New Day right now is like limiting, Big E. Before it wasn't. It was elevating Big E. you know, him being one of the most decorated tag team champions. But now we're on this, you know, now all right, New Day, you got Xavier, you got Kofi on Raw, you got Big E on SmackDown. Now, all right, if you want to differentiate the two, to me, man, you gotta go full fledged, man. You gotta go full fledged.
But I guess the question is like, how is the New Day right now holding? I mean, they're on separate shows.
Yeah.
Big E is competing on his own. Big E's having his own promos. Like, we're getting to see Big E kind of just be by himself. Like, how is that? How is New Day still holding him back if they are holding him back?
So when I seen him in this match for SmackDown, I still thought of New Day. You know, like when he came out, even with the new music, because aesthetically, he came out in a whole New Day gear. It's nothing new. All it was the music, still more the same of Big E. So it didn't feel anything, you know, fresh. You know, it was just like a little bit of Big E, but still New Day-ish, if that makes sense, man.
All right, let me throw this out at you. You know, Adam Cole is one of your favorite guys.
Yeah.
Do you think the Undisputed Era holds back Adam Cole?
You know what? That's funny because I think we need to save that, because when we get there, it's only one question that came out of that from my notes. Only one question. I thought I was going to take notes, but instead of taking notes, only a question that came out of that match for me. So it's funny that you asked that, but I don't want to ask it now because I think we did this
with that because we're about to get there.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Because I'll just say this: that for me, you know, that's an example of like they got something special, you know, in that group, and I think that you can reach the highest of highs within a stable and like be, you know, in a group, but still be your best self too. You know, like I don't think it needs to be that you have to split away in order to be the best version of yourself. For some people, you know, and again, for Roman, for Seth, for Dean and the Shield, it seemed like they were put together just so that they could develop and then eventually split. It didn't feel like they actually were like a cohesive unit. You know, they always kind of felt like, okay, these three guys are being groomed for world champion or universal championships. And that was the main point. Whereas with the New Day and with the Undisputed Era, I feel like there's genuine bonds there. Yeah. There's genuine, like, them pushing each other to be them better selves. Yeah, and like I just feel like it's a little bit different than the Shield. I get what Paul's saying because it's true. Like, you don't really talk about the Shield anymore. When you look at Roman Reigns, when you look at Seth even, you know, you see the Monday Night Messiah and you see the Tribal Chief. Like, I get that. But, you know, and even with Dean, it's John Moxley.
Yeah,
you know, like
you don't think of the Shield.
John Moxley, and now former AEW champion, right? You don't think of the Shield. You just think of John Moxley. So, but those three, I think that it was a little bit different with the bonds that they had, at least the way it felt for me. Whereas with the New Day and with Undisputed, it's a little bit different. But we'll come back to Undisputed in a little bit. Just wanted to bring up Big E. So more to come on that and see what Big E does with it, because you know, that was interesting, and I did like it was cool seeing Paul just give him advice like that, and not really, you know, it didn't feel like this. It was a character thing. It was like a work thing. It just felt like he's just giving him advice, and I think it was good advice for him to at least chew on and kind of do whatever he's going to do with it, and that's it. But no storyline.
Your take is
there. It's just like, let's see what happens.
You don't want him to, you know, split off from the New Day, right?
Well, I guess my thing is more of a like. I don't know that he needs to, you know, to change, because I think the New Day helped him find himself. And if we're saying split off from the New Day, then I think we're talking about him changing into something else again. And I don't know. I'm just curious as to if he's himself right now, then is him splitting off from the New Day going back to like trying to find a character again. Whereas with the New Day, he found himself. He found like I know his character, but the most entertaining Big E has ever been was with the New Day. And I felt like he was in his element, like he was himself. He was having fun. He was free, you know, doing the splits in the corner, like he's just having a great time. in the ring, and that's him. And then he could be serious when he needs to. You know, when people are messing with them and talking shit, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, you're just Big E, the fun guy." And he's like, "Oh no, don't get it twisted. Like, I can be vicious, I can be serious. Like, and watch this." And he gave it to us. We've seen that. So I just feel like he is himself right now, and I'm not fully buying that he needs to just completely throw away the whole New Day thing in order to get to that next level. Because again, Kofi didn't, and he became,
that's true,
you know, WWE
that's
champion.
That's true.
Like Kofi was at WrestleMania. Kofi could have main evented WrestleMania. If Big E gets that, it's like,
well,
like,
because
so
you got how they how the way they told that story with Kofi kind of did it in a way with including New Day. It made sense. But now you're the way you're booking Big E, you're booking Big E by himself. So if you're gonna book him by himself, it's like I get it that if he's gonna split from the New Day, but it's not an actual split. It's not like, hey, he had, you know, they ended on bad terms like the Shield or any others. These other factions ever broke up on bad terms. This is actually just good terms because, you know, they was on drafted at two different brands.
Right. Yeah, man. Like I said, more to come. I mean, you know, with this, it's an interesting debate to have, and I feel like it's just going to be a continued topic, you know, for us for sure, because we're both fans of Big E, you know, and I think it shows. It shows for sure in the way we're talking about him. We both want, you know, great things for him, and you know, I think that there's so many ways that this could go for Big E. I just hope that this ends with him, you know, being not ends with him, but like the next step being Intercontinental Champion, and then eventually let's get to that WWE Championship push and him having a match with, you know, whoever the champion is at that time. But like, I would love to see him continue to elevate. So we'll see how that happens. But it's great that we're even having this conversation, that Paul Heyman is having these, you know, conversations with Big E. That tells us like, hey, good things are on the horizon. They're trying to do something with him. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Now let's move on. Speaking of things we're excited for, I know you're excited to talk about the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Tribal Chief.
Yeah, man. So he's on one, man. He's on one. So him and Kevin Owens, you know, it's coming soon. The TLC, they're going to be going at it for the Universal Championship. Yes. Family is at the head of this story, man. Like this is getting it personal, real personal, man. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about what happened between KO and Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns telling the family, "Hey, man, come get your daddy."
So KO, he comes out, kicks off a promo. He want to introduce to his new friends, and these new friends he's going to introduce to the Tribal Chief. He claims for TLC. And he goes on, talks about his friend named Chair, and then ladder and tables, and he just go off about how he's very what he's gonna do with these friends for Roman, basically. So as he's going on, the Tribal Chief is watching. The Tribal Chief is looking. Paul Heyman's looking at the Tribal Chief, not paying attention to KO about what he's doing, just focus on his Tribal Chief. All right. And then your boy, go get him, main event, Jey Uso pops out out of nowhere, a little shaken, just a little nervous, we good? Yeah, bro, yeah. And this was hilarious about Tribal Chief. He looked at him, he was like, yeah, we good. I was like, oh shit. Oh, he did that way too smooth. So as KO's going on, Jay's getting upset. He was like, man, hey, you know what? I know I messed up. You gotta let me go out there. Let me go get him. Tribal Chief, you want to? Okay. Go out there and go get him. All right. So Kevin Owens still talking. He's on top of the ladder. All right. Just top of the ladder talking. Out of nowhere, Jay, pow, boom, with the chair.
It's like KO got shot.
Right. It was like
KO got shot. It was crazy. It was like, what the hell happened to Kevin? Oh, Jay.
Right. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Jay was go get him. Yeah.
Right. So go get him.
The chair. Wow. pow, hitting him. All right. They roll outside the ring. Jay goes to the tables, getting ready to set up, getting ready to get him. I guess that was enough recovery time for KO to reverse and start whooping this dude's ass, bro. Whooping the dog shit out of him too, bro. Just, oh my God, it got real. So real. The tribal chief was like, down up. Music comes out. Heyman's like, oh, bro, I want a hype man like that, like Heyman, bro. He's like, don't do it. He ain't worth it. You ain't got to do it. Wait for TLC.
Yep.
Wait for TLC.
This is on his terms. Yeah, this is on his terms. Don't do it. This needs to be on your terms. This needs to be on your terms.
I was like, man. And I love it because he's like, he's passing the title to Heyman, but Heyman has his hand on it, but Raymond, he's still, but not Raymond. I'm sorry, Roman. And it's not Roman. I'm sorry, Tribal Chief. I'm sorry, Tribal Chief. I'm excited. Tribal Chief.
Pay respects.
Pay my respects. He had his hand on the title. He was like, sure you want to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, on his terms. He was like, on his terms. He was like, I get it. You're
the head of the table.
I get it.
I do this on his
terms. Man, I love Paul. But then he was able to calm the man down. And he walked and he left his cousin out there, bro. And oh my God. So Kevin's like, nah, this.
Then Kevin Owens followed him. He's like, no, I'm done running. I'm done running. And so he went up the ramp. He's limping. He's holding the chair. He goes back there. He's looking for Roman Reigns. And then Kayla tried to interview him, trying to talk to him.
Like, Kayla. And he's, matter of fact, Kayla, I got a question for you. You seen Roman? Wow. Oh, chair shot to the back.
Oh, my God.
Oh. Roman came out of nowhere.
Wicked chair shot.
Beating his ass. Then had a message for the children. Because Roman loves the kids.
And the wife.
And the wife.
Oh.
Man, he basically told him, get your dad, or he gonna be ended up hurt. Oh.
He said, well, first when he was beat, it was one of those monologue ass things that Roman Reigns now is getting
like
famous
Bane versus Batman.
He's talking shit to him. He's telling Kevin Owens, like, who do you think puts food on the table? Who do you think provides for you? Who do you think put the roof over your head? And he's beating him with the chair. He's like, you've never even invited me over. You've never even invited me over to see your family. Then he looks at the camera. He's like, you know what? Let me properly introduce myself. He calmed down real quick. And he looks at the camera, dead at the camera. Let me properly introduce myself. I'm Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the one that provides food, the one that provides the food at the table. And he's like, and then he says, like, now, if he doesn't act right, like, you better come talk to him. One of you guys, like, to the wife, you better come talk to him. Kids, talk to your dad. Because, as quickly as I put food on the table, I'm going to take that food off the table.
Then kicked him in the head.
I was like,
oh, shit.
Why is Roman like this? Why? Tribal
Chief.
Just
Tribal Chief.
Savage.
Tribal Chief.
Savage. Yes. Take that food off the table. Like, this man talking to his wife and kids. I said, man,
I got a question for you, man. Shouts out to the Twitter sphere. Shouts out to the Twitter follower Kadarian Webb. He had tagged us Squad Street Wrestling Podcast, and he said, "Who would you pick? Would you pick, like, who's the better heel combo? Kenny Omega, Don Callis, or Paul Heyman with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns?" I went with, obviously, me. I went with the Tribal Chief. You know what I'm saying?
It's Tribal Chief right now, man. It's Tribal Chief right now. It has to be. Like, Don Callis and Kenny Omega, give them time. Let's see what they do. It'll be fun as well. They're gonna have their fun. But right now, you can't, like, for me, there's no comparison. There's no competition. Like, and it's crazy to be saying that, because a year ago, I would have thought this is crazy that we're even saying this, that, Roman, I was getting me because the post-cancer thing, like we were all feeling for Roman, but then it was kind of falling off a little bit. We're starting to fall in those same trends where
it's starting to be on the rise.
Same
again.
Same old. Yeah, like I don't know, man. And then everything that happened with COVID. He was away, came back, but yeah, this heel run that he's on is so entertaining. It's so entertaining that man. Because the only thing that's close to this is, his boy Seth, the Monday Night Messiah, and just the greater good, the sacrifices. Just, oh man, just with the whole Rey Mysterio and him, it's crazy what he was doing. Him and Drew, that one matchup that they had in the build up to that, like you don't understand, Drew, what it takes to be the champion. Like, but I do. I can take that burden. I can be that guy. Like, I'm going to do you a favor and take that from you so you don't have to deal with all the pressure and responsibility. I was like, Seth, what has happened to Seth? Dude, so that was like probably the closest thing so far for me, at least this year, was just Seth's, job as Monday Night Messiah. But yeah, right now, gosh.
Tribal Chief. I got to go with my Tribal Chief.
100%.
He is talking with so much confidence. It is so unreal, man. Like the promos, he don't stumble.
Yeah.
Like you believe what he's saying when he was just talking to Kevin Owens' family about what he's going to do. Basically, like you need to go check your dad or I'm going to check him for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that?
You better talk to him. You better talk to him.
Man.
Like, you better.
Man. Like I'm the one. I'm the true head. I'm the one that puts food on your table, bro.
Food on your table.
Oh man!
Wow. Yeah, man. It's great. It's great. Yes. It's great what he's doing. I want to see it every time Roman shows up. Now I'm like, oh, I gotta see what he says. What's he gonna do? Like, it's so much excitement now. Looking forward to Roman Reigns promos.
Oh, I do. Yes, all the time. And sometimes when he doesn't open up the show with I'm like, oh. No Roman Reigns promo in the beginning. Okay. All right. I guess we wait a little bit longer.
Right. We gotta wait.
I want it now, damn it.
Oh man. Yeah, because this week it was Sasha, right? It was Sasha and Carmella. They had the signing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, which that was cool. That was interesting too, actually, to switch gears a little bit. Sasha and Carmella. I was nervous because Carmella had a new entrance. Yeah. And the entrance was an entrance. It was. Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
So and she comes out, I'm like, oh, this is what I was talking about.
Yes,
this is what I was talking about.
Shit, this is what he's prophesied right here, man. Oh my God, prophecy has come true.
Dude, I was nervous. I'm like, oh, she's gonna lose. She's gonna lose. Like Vince loves his blondes, and she's coming out like this. Oh,
like it didn't. I'm like, hold on, what? We're changing the match to tonight. We're not waiting TLC. Why? What are we doing? And then I remember like seeing something in the news too, like WWE wasn't happy with Snoop Dogg because he's going to be appearing on AEW. That was going in the news thread. I was like, oh man. No. Don't tell me. Don't tell me
punishment.
Petty like that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me business petty like that, bro. He's gonna do it.
Hey, look at Lana and what happened to her.
Table
getting put through tables 9 times. 9 times.
Yes.
Like that's how petty it gets in WWE.
I'm like,
oh Snoop, you want to be on AEW?
Okay.
Watch what we do to Sasha.
Yeah. All right,
we got you. Oh man. But yeah, DQ finish. They had Sasha get herself DQ'd after the sommelier, tried to, mess with the match.
That's borderline, bro. That's sommelier,
Yeah. I mean,
you gonna see the brother out there, aesthetics, got the blonde, the brother, sommelier. What is that code? What is that code for? What are we doing?
That's what they called it. That's what she said. So, hey man, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna just go with what.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on it though. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Right,
you do. Please do for us.
Where are they going with this?
What are we talking about here? What is this? What are we going with this one? But yeah, she got herself disqualified. Then Carmella got she kicked her in the head, took her to the outside, smashed one of the champagne bottles over her back. I wish she would have just hit her in the head though. It would have been a better visual.
And maybe
because she was supposed to be out cold. Yeah, because they had the breakaway bottle, so just smashed it over the head, and that way you could say, oh, she's got a concussion, she's out cold, but you hit her in the back. It's like it wasn't as good of an effect as it could have been, but it was still fine.
A little bit flat. It was it was like that, man. Just a little knock. I'm like, I'd rather see the glass break and maybe a little fake blood, like, oh man, she's busted up.
Something,
give it more of an effect.
And then the elephant in the room of this whole thing is Corey Graves is doing commentary. That's his girl, and she's out here saying, stuff like she's gonna be the sexy the champion, and kind of like calling the dude baby, and like all men love me, and I'm just like, you with Corey Graves, right. Like that's where kayfabe, not having that is kind of like it's like we know what's really going on, so you might as well just keep it 100, like,
right?
Corey Graves, that's your guy right there. Like, what are we doing
right there?
So I don't know. It's just a little bit weird that they're not really addressing that, but okay.
Like it never happened.
So like, yeah, right. No, man, it did. Just come on, man. But yeah. So it's gonna continue. TLC. They'll probably. I don't know. Maybe they won't do the rematch because of Snoop Dogg now. Maybe that that'll be it for a little bit. We'll see.
We'll put this on ice.
So they can't be petty.
Right.
Right. You are going to be off television for a little bit.
We're going to focus on Bailey and the EST.
Right.
Bianca.
And the EST. Right. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, man. All right. So let's get to the crux of this, to the core of this show.
Well, before we do that. It came in. Okay. Let me open this. Oh, I've been waiting. I said last 2 episodes. Man.
For the listeners, there's a package.
Yes. I've been waiting. You hear the rumbling. I said it's been in transit. Oh yeah. Let me get it. Oh yes. Let me show it off for the people. Oh,
there it is.
Yeah.
Head of the table.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, I got an open spot right here. So
where the AJ shirt used to be.
So I will do the honors and set this up right now.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Man. Paying homage with his hard-earned dollars to the tribal chief. Devin is setting up the third shirt in the set. He's got Wreck Everyone and Leave up there. He's got Show Up and Win up there. And now it's the head of the table, completing the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief collection.
Collection is complete for now until he comes out with new merch.
Until the next one.
Well, right now, the set is complete, sir.
There you go. Speaking of merch, real quick before we talk about WarGames. So in the back when they show, Biggie had his shirt and everybody had merch. Sami Zayn was in the back saying, all these people got merch. Where's my merch? And then Biggie goes, Apollo. and Apollo came around. Here we go. I got your merch right here, Sammy. And it was like a stick figure. I am Sami Zayn.
With a beard.
Watch that shirt sell. Dude, watch them put that on WWE Shop.
It is on Shop.com.
And they sell t-shirts. Oh my God.
Shop.com, bro.
I knew it. I was like, they have to. You got to put that up there.
Yes.
People are going to buy that shirt. I'm telling you, Apollo's artwork is going up there. Watch it be the best-selling shirt they have.
Oh, man, bro, that was hilarious. It's like, days. Apollo.
Yeah.
I got it.
Said what?
Stick figure with a
that was great,
beard, bro.
Man, that was great. All right, so let's get into WarGames.
I'm ready.
Oh man,
sort of ready.
So first of all, I got to toot my own horn a little bit, all right, because I was a little salty, I was a little bittersweet with the AEW the last pay-per-views prediction show. We didn't get it fully recorded, and we had the technical difficulties, and I had a flawless victory. Flawless victory. I had it. But it wasn't recorded, so I'm like, you know what? It doesn't even count. Who cares? It doesn't count. I could, I have witnesses, JD, Devin. Y'all heard me say what I said, but we didn't have the evidence. but now we have the evidence. Flawless victory for me. Oh my God! Predictions all correct. I actually went into this thinking, you know what?
Right, man, with the lowest of confidence coming in here, like, yeah, I'm picking with my heart, but I already know Johnny might not just win.
And that's the truth. Look, I gotta be real with the listeners. I'm not gonna lead y'all. I was accused of leading people astray. on the Survivor Series on the crossover show. Yeah. So I have to keep it real. I got to tell you why I'm making my picks. If I'm just making the pick because I feel like, all right, you know what? This is what I want to happen, so I'm going to pick it. I'm going to tell you. So this one, there were some picks I made with my heart, and, it resulted in a flawless victory. So, but let's get into it. Now, as we typically do on the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast, we give you, the true main event as our last match that we'll talk about, as our last match we'll recap. And for us, the main event of this show really should have been the women's WarGames matchup.
Deserve it, damn it.
But for what, and this has been a trend for us recently, because we have predicted the main event to be, and like over and over again, we predicted the main event, and over again, the main event's the first match of the night, which is kind of crazy. It's been weird like that. Like the Kenny Omega Hangman Page, it was the first match of the night. Yeah, and then it was what was the other one? The Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Hell in a Cell matchup. First match. What? Like, what is happening? So, and now here again. All right, the women's WarGames matchup. Shotzi, Team Shotzi. She's building the tank. She got the last piece of it. They had this whole video thing. It was really cool. And yeah, we saw the tank, so that was cool. But yeah, first match? Like, really? All because we had your boy, Pat
How
McAfee.
dare you say that, sir? My boy? Fuck no. Fuck no. He would never be my boy. He would never be my guy. Never, ever.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait. So we are going to flip it, and we're actually going to give you the Pat McAfee versus Undisputed Era first, and then we're going to save the best for last in the women's WarGames matchup. That'll be the last match that we recap. So let's get right into it. I am dying to hear your reaction, sir, on this matchup. So let's get right into it. The Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole, baby, versus Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, and Pat McAfee. Devin's giving a thumbs down for the listeners.
And a suck.
All right, so Devin, man, take it away. What's your reaction to this matchup? How you feeling right now?
Oh my God. All right. So this match actually started off cool. Everything was going good, being violent. It was a bit slow. It was a couple of spots. It was just, guys were just laying around. It felt like it was a bit slow. I actually kind of a little bit drifted to my phone. But as in the closing segments, it was one offensive move that clearly stood out to me and pissed me the fuck off. So I'm just gonna fast forward because this is my point of view right here. This is where I'm fucking done with this match. I'm fucking done with this match. All right, so Adam Cole, Pat McAfee, they're on the far side of the ring now. They're in the corner. They're going at it. You know what I'm saying? Pat McAfee, he's in the corner, getting ready to set up Adam Cole for the Panama Sunrise. I'm like, don't, bro. Just fucking don't. All right, he doesn't. Adam Cole super kicks him. Yes, he gets super kicks. He's on the ground. He's getting ready to set him up for the Panama Sunrise. I'm like, cool. All right, here we go. We're about to fucking end this right now. All right, he sets him up. Panama Sunrise. I'm like, here we go. This is perfect. This is how he get his comeuppance. I'm like, 1, 2. This we go straight to the moon. Kicks out 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
To the moon.
What the
fuck?
What? He kicks. Whoa! Hold on. This is the guy that had his second match, and this is the first time in a WarGames match being physical. And then he jumps off and did a moonsault on the top of a cage too, on top of the WarGames cage too. Might I add that?
Yeah.
And he takes 1 Panama Sunrise. 1. Been in the match for, I don't know, 30 minutes already. So he's tired. But he kicks out. Adam Cole has like the most dumbass look on his face. Like he's like, in an anime, cartoon, in a fighting movie, you doing your ultimate attack and the dude just deflects it easy and you like, and that was Adam Cole. He did the Panama Sunrise. Pat McAfee kicks out. He's just dumb look, man. Just a completely dumb look. I'm like, oh my God, man. I'm like, I don't care how it ends. You Undisputed guy with the most stupidest power finish ever. I don't care. That one offensive move of Pat McAfee kicking out of the Panama Sunrise ruined my WarGames match for that main event. I was like, this is the reason why the women should have been the main event. This is the reasons why. It was that WarGames match was bullshit. It was slow at times. Pat McAfee was doing okay. He did a somersault, but I just seen one of the women who did a somersault, but did it in the most epic way. So I don't care what you did, Pat McAfee. Man, I'm done, bro. I'm done talking about this.
Damn.
Fuck this dude.
Wow. So overall, you didn't like.
Just saying.
So overall, you didn't like. So that right there, him kicking out of Panama
ruin
Sunrise,
everything.
Ruin everything. Really?
I'm ruining everything. It's like I'm eating eating good, eating a real good move. I'm real good food, and all of a sudden, there's some hair. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck? There's some hair on my shit. Oh, I can't even fucking eat. I'm done. Can't even eat it. Throwing it away. No, I don't want. Nope. Don't cook it again. I'm done. I'm never eating here again. That's how I feel about this WarGames match from Pat McAfee kicking out that Panama Sunrise, which logically in the story makes no fucking sense, bro. Let me know how that makes sense. His second match. Even the commentary said, this is his second match. So you understood this man was in his second match, first ever WarGames match. Taking kendo sticks to the chest, chair shots, super kicks, all that added up. Takes one finishing move. I'm thinking, like everybody else, probably 99% of the population watching that pay-per-view thought it was over. And this asshole decided to kick out. And I already know what they're setting up to, too. That's what pissed me off. They're setting up for a Pat McAfee, Adam Cole match where Pat McAfee is going to win. He's going to win. That is what they're setting up to. This is why I'm so fired up. I'm pissed off because they're setting up Pat McAfee to win. They gave the first match between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole. They gave this man a 2.9 second close finish. They gave this man a 16 to 17 minute match with Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion. How that doesn't even make sense. And this dude had 2 weeks of training? Oh my God, man. Fucking ranting. I don't like the rant, but when shit pisses me off, I gotta.
Hey man, I'm letting you go. I'm letting you.
I like to keep it laughing. I like to entertain people, but this is the type of shit that pisses me off when shit don't make sense to me. This is the story that you gave, and then some other people want to overlook it. Oh, he just did a somersault off top of the cage. I'm like, bro, you saw EO do the same thing, but in the most epic way. So what are we talking about?
All right, so no, actually, I don't want to cut you off.
I'm done, bro.
You feel good? You got it out. You got it out. Okay.
Therapy session. I knew we was gonna have one. This is it right here again.
Oh man. Well, you might need another one because I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a very different experience with this matchup than you did. I think you're gonna be upset. I really enjoyed this matchup.
God,
I really did.
Breaking my heart.
I enjoyed it.
What?
I did. So here's where I'm at, right? So, I still believe the women's match should have been the main event because I feel like they had the better matchup. The stars, the star power there was just awesome. All right, but we had that matchup, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. That's still the true main event. But now he's about to do the move on my screen. It's so funny that's about to happen. So, the match starts out, Undisputed comes out, red, they got the Undisputed shirts for WarGames with the camouflage, like cool. Then quote unquote Pat McAfee's team comes out. But like I've been saying from the beginning, I feel like this is Pete Dunne's team. And Pete Dunne didn't even look at them. He just told them, y'all, get over there, get in that damn cage.
I got this.
I got this. Right. So it was him and Kyle. And I'm like, yes, give me this. And they go at it for the first 5 minutes, man. They're going back and forth. This is just perfect. Like it was great. It was a great start to the matchup. And then I forget who came in next after that. Was it I think it was only Lorcan that came out after because they had the advantage, right? So it was only Lorcan in there. And then you had Bobby Fish come in. And so you got Kyle's tag team partner. And I love the storytelling here with like how you brought in like, hey, Kyle O'Reilly's tag team partner. He comes in and then you bring in Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan's tag team partners. Like, okay, the cohesiveness. And we'll talk about that with the women too, because that was brilliant too, the way they did that. And then you had, of course, you're going to save Adam Cole and Pat McAfee for last. Pat McAfee comes out, and then Pat McAfee comes out. When it was his turn, he brings out the tables, and he's like, I've got one. He's got one for basically each member of the Undisputed Era with their names on it, with the Undisputed logo. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, are they actually going to put them through all 4 of these tables? And I started getting a little nervous. Like, if they do that, are they going to win this matchup? Like, what is about to happen right now? So I was like, oh, shit. Like, let's see what happens here. So he's bringing them out. And actually, I thought that was kind of cool. They put Roddy through his table. So he was the first one. It was moonsault by Pat McAfee, which he did. It was a solid moonsault he pulled off. Cool. They did that. And it was basically their team working in cohesion. It wasn't like him dominating Roderick Strong to get there. Like that team, it was a team win putting Roddy through that table. Cool. But then after that, nobody else from Undisputed went through a table. All those other tables, it was a member of Team McAfee that went through those tables. So they just turned the tables on them, literally, and made that happen. I just feel like the wrestling, the chaos in WarGames that I've come to expect, I got that from this matchup. All right, so the spot you're talking about. The Panama Sunrise, like I said, I just saw it on my screen again. He kicks out of the Panama Sunrise.
Love this match. Unbelievable.
Here's the thing for me with you being that upset about him kicking out of the Panama Sunrise. One, Panama Sunrise is not Adam Cole's finisher.
I know.
Right? So, this is not a move that he's typically had success finishing matches with in NXT. It's a devastating move. It's a fun move to see, but the finish rate of that move in NXT might be 0. Like pretty much nobody is kicked out. Like it's one thing, if he uses his actual finisher, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, he kicks out. But the Panama Sunrise is like, all right, it's a strong move, but I wouldn't go so far as to say like, oh my God, it's shocking that Pat McAfee kicked out when they've already had a matchup before. And Pat McAfee, kicked out of Adam Cole's moves, in that matchup already. Like we've seen, this wasn't the first time we've seen Pat McAfee take the Panama Sunrise.
But this is a WarGames match, man. So this is different. So that's how I'm thinking. I'm in the mind frame of this is the build up.
But he didn't really take.
to him to take that finish.
But he didn't really take much damage. But he didn't really take that much damage in this WarGames match. Like he was standing back and letting them do a lot of the dirty work.
When Undisputed,
when they were like saving Pat McAfee,
like they all
with the kendo sticks,
they all jumped,
right.
McAfee
They had that
throwing them against the gate.
But
that was roughing them up, bro.
They did, but not in comparison to what we typically see. Like in WarGames, you got people, like we just said, going through tables, getting smashed on the cage and ladders in the middle portion on the steel. Like usually, like everybody is getting just destroyed. Pat McAfee, I felt like they kind of protected him a little bit in this matchup from getting like obliterated in some spots. It was more like Oni Lorcan got destroyed. Oh my God, Ember Moon in that matchup. We'll talk about her and what she did. Like
almost
just
committed murder,
ridiculously, just almost killed somebody. Yes, like almost killed someone. That didn't happen to Pat McAfee. And then he takes the Panama Sunrise, and I get it. It's a devastating move. It's Pat McAfee. It's his second match in NXT. So I hear what you're saying in terms of like
yes,
it's just not someone like him
match.
who's supposed to be off the street.
Match too. It's not a regular ass match.
Yeah, but again, I'm like, it's not the last shot, It's not
I hear, like it makes sense.
He did Panama Sunrise like through like onto a chair, or like he's bloody, which he didn't bleed, so that's another reason. I know
if he was but like that too, he didn't bleed.
I don't know. I just when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he didn't bleed. When I saw it, I was kind of like, all right. He kicked out of it. It was shocking. And Adam Cole, they're doing that thing where it's like, wow, near fall. Like it was actually, I was cool with it. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like they're going back and forth. The two teams are going to war. Like, and Pete Dunne to me was like the true MVP. Like him and Kyle O'Reilly were the two MVPs of this matchup. Like going as long as they did, and they gave them that spot towards the end where it was like one-on-one, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne again after they've been through like 30 minutes of hell.
Bro.
And I thought Pete Dunne won the match at one point. I was like, oh man, he just hit him.
It was one spot when him and Orny Lorcan was working together. They had Kyle O'Reilly. So Pete Dunne had Kyle O'Reilly. He was laying on the floor. He kind of had him sitting up, propped up on his leg. And then, Orny Lorcan just chopping him in the chest, like, wow. Then bam, DDT finish. I was like, oh my God, bro. It was just that sequence right there was so violent, man. Them being that physical, Pete Dunne, man. That dude was an MVP of WarGames. I give you that.
Yeah, he was great. I think Kyle O'Reilly was great. Bobby Fish actually had a great spot too. And I get on Bobby Fish a little bit.
He got hurt again too, man.
Bobby, I thought, did a great job. He got hurt. Yeah, that seems to be a thing for him in WarGames too.
He got hurt. Like a torn tricep again.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing like when everybody was throwing up the undisputed sign, he just kept.
Yeah, I think it's right
because he was hurt. He was trying to hide arm.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, for me, and okay, so then the moonsault from the top, like I thought, honestly, props to him for being willing to do that as a guy who he's not doing this every day, and we've had people like Stephen Amell come to WWE and some other celebrities. Shaq has showed up and, he's doing stuff now with AEW. We'll see how far he goes. But to do a spot like that there are people in NXT, in WWE that have never done that and probably will never do something like that. And Pat McAfee goes up to the top and does a moonsault from the top of the cage in WarGames. I'm sorry, I can't. I think even one of the announcers said, I think it was who was it? I can't remember who was that said that, but they said, even if you don't like Pat McAfee, you got to respect that. The fact that he did that moonsault. And I thought of you immediately when he said that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow.
EO did it. I didn't see EO did it, and I'm like, okay, I put a little respect sauce on that a little bit, but I see EO did it.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
But see, that's where I feel like now we're kind of crossing over into, are we just gonna hate him and disregard what he's doing just because, or are we actually gonna pay this man respect when he does something good? Like when does he finally get that chance to just say, hey, okay, you did this, now that's cool, like that's good, I respect that. I may not like you, I may not respect you as a character, obviously we're not talking about him as a person, but like when does he get, like, what does he have to do in order to do something where we're like, man, that was cool. Like, I didn't like the match, I didn't like certain spots, but he did that.
I just want to see him to be in a believable match. He haven't been in a believable match. The first one where
but forget the match for a second though. Like that spot. Let's just take that spot, because I have a little bit of an issue just disregarding that. Like, if anybody does that spot, it's big. Like, just because Io just went and did that spot,
I would have said the same thing. It's almost because Io, it is watered down. Io, because you have 2 war game matches. You just seen Io did it with a trash can, and then you get the version from Pat McAfee. Excuse me if I don't get all excited.
Yeah, but it's like Io is. We saw Io do a moonsault from the top last War Games, like last year. And so she went to the top again here, and not to, because we're going to get into that, but she went to the top again in this War Games. And I thought that was still cool, even though she's done it before. And like Pat McAfee does this, and it's like, whoa, Pat McAfee's getting ready to go off the top and do a moonsault. And he did it, and it looked good. I'm like, wow, like, that was awesome. That was awesome that you got this guy who was willing to say, hey, I'm going to put my body on the line because I'm not full-time here. Like, I got stuff going on outside of here, but I'm willing to do what these guys do. Like, that to me tells me he's taking this seriously, that he wants to entertain and give people the best show he can. And with the ability that he has, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to the top and I'm going to do a moonsault. And that move could get botched. And that man, if that goes wrong, he's got a broken neck or worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got to put respect on him being able to take that risk. The fact that someone else was able to take that risk, that's cool. But that doesn't mean that anybody, it's like, okay, Jeff Hardy, he does a spot off the ladder every time he gets a ladder. But every time we see other people do ladder moves, it's like, it's still a big deal because we know the risk that it is. So to say that Pat McAfee doing
that's debatable. That's debatable, man.
It's not as impressive
because it depends how many times you're going to see it. Like, if I didn't never see it, like, I'm going to say this: Pat McAfee as Pat McAfee the person, yeah, it's impressive. He did a moonsault or he flipped off the top of the ring. But as a character, like I'm saying, I'm bringing it back to within the story. It doesn't make sense for me. Like, I gave him his chops before.
But what doesn't make sense about him doing a moonsault?
I'm saying as it doesn't make sense for him, like, believable. Like, why is he, like, almost winning these matches? Like, he's getting more victories. Like, he had 2 more victories back to back when you look at it. Because even with the aftermath of
I guess what I'm trying to get you to see is, like, there's two things we're debating right now. It's the match overall in, like, that spot. Like, I'm trying to really turn this into a micro conversation versus looking at the match on a whole, just to see, if I can get you.
Well, let me bring it back to this.
This one thing that he did. Let me
bring it back to this when he did a somersault when him and Adam Cole, and I gave him props for him to do a somersault. Like, he did good. His moonsault, his move set, his wrestling moves are good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking that, but from a character, like I'm saying, I'm just bringing it back to what they're telling me from a story standpoint. It's not believable to me. If you're telling me, all right, from 2 weeks of training, he's able to go toe to toe with, Pat McAfee, but I'm impressed because I can respect it because he's doing moves. He's a celebrity. He doesn't do that all the time. I'm treating the same thing as War Games. I'm just saying, like, it's watered down because Io did it, but she did it in a most crazy, epic way. Maybe if Io didn't do that, and then she just does a regular moonsault, and then, you got Pat McAfee does it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was good. But to me, like I said, it was watered down. I'm not saying I'm not disrespecting it. I do respect it. But from a match preference, to me, it was like, okay, I just seen that in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, the way it sounds, hearing you, it's just kind of like there's nothing he can do. like we're just not going to give him a chance.
It's not that, man. It's just, I
just
want Triple H to book a logical story that it will make sense. If you're telling me he has 2 weeks of training, let that make sense within the story of wrestling.
Yeah, but the nothing that he did to me looked like something in this matchup more than even the Adam Cole matchup. I felt like this was believable, and the Adam Cole matchup wasn't. Because one-on-one with the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, you shouldn't last that long. You shouldn't have that much offense. That makes sense to me. In the context of War Games, where it's this 4-on-4 war and you have these other guys that can fight for you, kind of protect you, and then you took a move, you're still like a person. Like
that's still debatable, man.
As a human being, but just as a human being, like it. Okay, we talked about like Walter's chops before on the show. It's like, oh, would you take a chop from Walter, right? So, when you see people take chops from Walter on the show, and they're selling it a certain way, it's like, damn, that's crazy. But it's not unbelievable for me to think that someone, just a big guy, like an athlete off the street, like if I took, I don't know, just, Mitchell Trubisky, right? And had him take a chop from Walter. And Mitchell Trubisky, because he's a big dude, even though I don't like him because I'm mad about the whole Trubisky, Deshaun Watson,
Patrick Mahomes,
Pat Mahomes situation. I'm mad about that, right? I'm mad about that as a Bears fan. I'm mad, but let's just say the guy's an athlete. He's a big guy. He takes a chop from Walter. Are we saying that because he's not a wrestler, he should chop him straight in half? Or are we going to say, hey, he's an athlete, he can take punishment, it's maybe he doesn't have the in-ring to be able to go move for move with a guy like that. But in terms of taking damage, because now what I'm going back to is with the Panama Sunrise, him being able to take a move from somebody, that ability to just say, hey, I'm not giving up, or yeah, you punch me, you hit me, you kick me, whatever,
super kick,
but
man.
I'm still here. But that to me, there's nothing unbelievable about him saying, okay, I kicked out of this. And again, it's not his finisher, and he's an athlete, he's a big guy. We see that about him. Like, he doesn't need to train to be able to take the Panama Sunrise.
Yeah, but
that's not a training thing.
You're like you said,
in terms of the story, like you're saying, the logic of the story.
Okay,
if we say 2 days of training, how do you train for the Panama Sunrise to take it? Like, there's no training.
I'm saying
that
the build up to it too. It's just not you're trying to diagnose it to one move, and then how does one move, like, it shouldn't be like that wasn't a finish move. I'm not even saying that. I get that. Get it when it's a finishing move. I'm talking about the build up to it. He's in his first War Games match. Taking all this punishment. Mm-hmm. He got jumped by Undisputed in the War Games match after Undisputed did their, like, the running knee, super kick, like, all in that version, taking him out, and they left Pat McAfee alone. They all jumped him, throw him in the gate, doing their moves, and then, like, he's taking punishment, goes through a table. Like, don't forget that. Like, he was on top. He was on top of Adam Cole.
It wasn't all in a row. But wait, now,
and then Adam Cole pushes
in your mind,
pushes him off, and then he hits the. I'm like, okay, he's taking punishment. So, and then,
but
I'm just
the way
saying,
you're putting all these together, it sounds like a 50-hit combo that he got hit with.
No, I'm like,
and then kicked out
I'm not
of the
saying that. I'm saying, I'm like, throughout the match, bro.
Okay.
It's like it's not like, oh, I'm able to recuperate. I'm back up to like 100% now. I can take this move and I can kick out. No, sir, bro, you're probably down to 50% now.
You just said, hey, like. They got super kick, punched, all these combos, got put through a table, smashed his head in, threw him off a building, came back, Panama Sunrise, and Pat McAfee kicked out. Like, that's what it sounded like for a second there.
I'm not. You trying to summarize
the way that you
that.
were.
No, they were
telling that story.
But I'm saying,
I was like,
he took a beating throughout that War Games match. That's what I'm saying. He took a beating. It's not like you trying to say, oh, he was protected, came out there a little bit unscathed. No, sir. He got it.
Yeah,
he got his ass whooped.
Yes, he
got his ass whooped in there,
protected.
bro.
No. Not like the rest of them.
Oh, no,
not
like the rest of them, but he still got his ass whooped. Still went through a table.
Yeah, but like he
back of the head hit the table.
He went through more with Adam Cole. He went through more. He took. I think he took more punishment from Adam Cole in their one-on-one matchup than he did in this matchup. I really do. Because in this one, I kept asking myself, "Where's Pat McAfee right now? Like, where is he at? He disappeared for whole segments of that matchup. He disappeared. He was gone. God, it was kind of like at one point it was 3-on-4. Do you remember the point in the matchup where they all stood up and they had that classic war games? Like, all right, we're all injured, we're battle worn, and there was the 4 of them from Undisputed and and 3 guys. Pat McAfee was not there. 3 guys.
I think he just went through a table, McAfee, right?
But I'm saying, like, he wasn't a part of everything he was doing. They had him on the side, or there was times in the beginning when it was 4-on-3, and it was before Adam Cole came out. Pat McAfee was kind of like, all right, you guys do this, and then set him up for me. Boom, I'm going to go put Roddy through the table with this moonsault. And then it wasn't like he was going through the same punishment as the rest of them. But even with that, let me just go along with what you're saying for a second, okay? And say that, he had gone through the same punishment and, got put through a table and got all that.
Did I say he went through the same punishment as his teammates? I'm not saying that. I'm saying he still went through punishment.
Let's even say, but just for the sake of argument, just to even go there, let's even envision that he took the same punishment as all those other guys, right? So if Oney Lorcan takes the Panama Sunrise and kicks out, what are you saying?
Oney Lorcan? Nothing. He's a vet in the game.
But
he's
why?
A vet in the game, bro.
What does a vet have to do with the punishment that you're taking?
Because he's used to that. He's been in the game, bro. We talking about who's somebody who doesn't wrestle all the time against somebody who wrestles all the time. Who body is callous.
But like, it's not a finisher. He doesn't finish. But my point with the Panama Sunrise is that that's not a finisher. And for him, it's like, you're telling me that he should have been done. He should have been finished.
So you're saying he's on the same
level.
level. That's what you're saying. So you're saying Pat McAfee's on the same level as Oney Lorcan.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when it comes to taking punishment, if I punch somebody in the face, if I'm punching you in the face, like, that's punishment, right? And so, but if it's not from a wrestling context, we have finishers. If you're not hitting, 2K, the video game, right? If you use your signature move versus your finisher, there's different levels of punishment that move is going to deliver. And if it's a 0% finish rate from Adam Cole with Panama Sunrise, as cool as the move is, and it could be a finisher. It could be a finisher because of the way it looks, right? But they don't use it that way. Logically, if we're going to use logic, they haven't booked it to where Adam Cole beats people with the Panama Sunrise on the regular. So for him to hit that move and someone to kick out, it's not shocking to me. I would just be like, you know what? He hits this move. It looks cool. People kick out. Literally everybody that he's fought, when he hits that move on them, they kick out, unless we're going to go to, be it before NXT and maybe a dark match here or there, but or against some, up-and-comer or whatever. Maybe they just want to keep the match short. But on the main matches that he's had on NXT,
did a Panama Sunrise and finish him.
But here's the funny thing about that. The fact that you have to look it up already proves my point. Like, if you have to go search for it, then it proves that this isn't a finisher for him. It's just not. Whereas in this case, it's like, what would be the difference from Cesaro when you've seen him do an uppercut? That's not a finisher, but you've seen him pin people. Like, he seldomly did it, but he pinned a couple of wrestlers. But then that would be
it's not a finisher though. But he still it's part of his moveset. It's part of his finishers. It's part of his one of his finishers. It's part of his moveset. Like, you've seen him do an uppercut, and you've seen a lot of people kick out of it. Like, but it's been.
Yeah, but that's something that you can point to, because for me, with Cesaro, that's something he has used to finish matches. Like, we've seen that, but we haven't seen that with Adam Cole. We've seen him use that move and it be devastating, but then the match continues and it's like, holy shit, oh my God. And we're all in that boat. Like, it's so cool to see that move. We know it's devastating because we're imagining, oh my God, it's like a pile driver and he flipped upside down. Like, it's crazy to look at. But the truth of it is, if we really look at it, I can't off the top of my head say, hey, Adam Cole has finished some guy with this move. And again, you could look it up, and I'm sure pre-NXT, it's probably happened. The Canadian Destroyer, that move that it was a finisher for the people that have used that before. I get it. But for Adam Cole, it hadn't been. Look, we just talked about with New Day, how without Big E, when they hit the big ending, it didn't work. Because for them,
it's a different moveset.
With Big E, with Big E there, with the big ending, the whole thing was, without Big E, it doesn't have as much impact. So for them, it's not really a finisher anymore unless you have Big E there. So with the Canadian Destroyer as a finisher, for some people, yeah, they use it as a finisher. For Adam Cole, he doesn't really. It's a signature move. It's a move he does, and it's
I don't know, man.
Could it finish a matchup? It looks like it should be able to finish a matchup.
If I never seen other wrestlers,
it doesn't always. It mostly doesn't.
Like if we can use hell, we can use Lana for example. How certain wrestlers or Shayna, I think Shayna used like a gut wrench to pin her one time. It was not a finisher; it's just a gut wrench.
Yeah,
and she pinned her because she's not the most experienced wrestler, and that's my point when it comes to Pat McAfee. He doesn't have you can say athletic.
We're not
ability,
arguing,
but okay. But I'm talking about experience too. He's this is first WarGames, and he's taking all this punishment, and it led up to him kicking out of a Panama Sunrise, which it's not a finisher, but still, it didn't make sense to me.
I mean, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree, on that aspect of this conversation, because for me, I didn't have a problem with it. And it's like Adam Cole, I wouldn't say I don't know. It kind of felt like, for you, we're almost getting back to that whole point of you not having giving up on Adam Cole a little bit because he had the stupid look on his face and all that. And I'm just like, it's fun. I don't have a problem with what happened here because he hit him with the Panama Sunrise. We've seen people kick out of it before. Pat McAfee kicked out.
I seen him kicked out, but I said
cool.
too,
and it was an exciting moment. I was even more upset
because I see what they was leading to, because he didn't take the pin losing the match. It was Oney Lorcan, right? Oney Lorcan took the pin. So if he's not taking the pin, for the loss of WarGames, and he's kicking out of Panama Sunrise, that led up to me. I'm like, yep, they're setting up a Pat McAfee Adam Cole match. It's going to be a singles match, and most likely Pat McAfee would get the dub because they're showing he took him to 15, 20 minutes the first WarGames match.
Yeah, I don't see it that
kicking
way.
out of Canadian Destroyers. Okay, now third match. You're gonna be Adam Cole, man. That's what they're setting up to. Probably with some help, but he's gonna be Adam Cole.
It'll be interesting to see. Oh man, I wish I knew this for sure. I'm curious because I'm pretty sure Adam Cole. Okay, wait. So I don't know, man. It wasn't the last shot. You know what I'm saying? For me, if it would have been the last shot, he kicks out of that. And even we've seen that before where people are kicked out of the last shot, even though that is his finisher. I think it's fine, man. It felt like this was an exciting matchup, and Pat McAfee did the best he could to try to make it an exciting matchup as well. And he went off the top of the cage, which for me was wow, Pat McAfee is really going out here trying to entertain and give up his body, and anytime somebody does a top of the cage type move, I got a lot of respect for that. So I'm cool with it, man. I just feel like, this matchup here, I hear you being upset, and I anticipated you being upset, and that's why I was I can't wait to hear what you got to say.
The way you break this down makes me wonder, not even wonder, it actually makes sense to me. All right. When we first had this debate about Johnny Gargano, he took 4 finishers and still kicked out. But yet, here you are, saying no, it made a great story. It was perfect. It didn't make Undisputed look weak. To me, it did. At that moment, it did, because you took finishers, not moves. You took finishers. All right. Here we are talking about somebody who's inexperienced, but he's athletic. Athletic person in the ring. I give you that. But within the context of the story, you have inexperience. First time WarGames, you took some punishment. You took a Canadian Destroyer or the Panama Sunrise, and you still kicked out. But yet you're willing to accept that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's cool,
man. I mean, you make it seem, honestly, I feel like in your mind, Pat McAfee is like Michael Cole. He should just not, be able to take anything.
It's not even that.
The wind blows and he should just be.
It's not even that, man. It's if he was booked properly. If Adam Cole, if he said, "All right, I'm gonna make you my bitch," and if we would have got that, like how Seth Rollins did to Dominic, and which pay-per-view that was, but it was a pay-per-view where he had Dominic and then Rey Mysterio was at his side, and he basically destroyed him because you saw the degrees of the inexperience between him and Seth Rollins. And that's all I wanted between him, between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole, to see the level of separation between of skill sets. I didn't see that. I didn't even see that in WarGames too. It's like he's up there already with like you said, Orny Lorcan.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, agree to disagree. It's all good. For me, I had fun with the matchup. I enjoyed it. Like that whole spot. I anticipated this happening. I really did. I saw like all of this coming because I knew it. I had seen something you would put out there, like, after that move hit.
Hell yeah.
And you were just like, what the
hell
fuck?
Yeah.
Like I saw it.
I used the Red Man
so
clip
I knew that this was coming, but
of How High. And then I think when he just says, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And that's basically how I felt when I saw it. I'm like, hell no, man. I just don't like it. I don't like the booking of Pat McAfee and him between Adam Cole. Just doesn't make sense to me. You gotta be levels to this shit. That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, man. I just, it's not even that, for me, Pat McAfee, like we agreed on Pat McAfee and Adam Cole in that matchup and how it is, like we agreed on how Adam Cole should have done a lot more. In this matchup, I felt like, all right, we got past that one. Now here we are. Let's see what he does. And to me, it was like, all right, it was cool. I still think the women's WarGames matchup was better.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee going off the top rope, or not top rope, off the cage. I was like, shit, all right, man, this guy, he's trying. He takes the Panama Sunrise. He kicks out. I'm like, it's fine. We've seen this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't, I felt like there wasn't like, oh, the audacity of this guy to kick out of the Panama Sunrise. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in that last matchup, I think Adam Cole actually beat him with the Panama Sunrise. Now that I think about it,
I thought it was
I think he did. The last shot, I think he did hit the Panama Sunrise. Now that I think about it,
you think he couldn't do it this time?
Yeah,
in a WarGames match. That's even worse. Is it?
But is it, or is it that he's been through it before?
No,
if that's
man,
the case,
I'm not.
I'm trying to remember,
even like, oh, he learned from his mistakes and he just got even stronger. Nah.
But you just said experience, though, so that's another way to look at this.
Okay, like if it was a regular ass match, yeah.
The first time he takes
if it was a regular ass match,
like the first time he takes it to lose, like, okay,
no, man, but he's going through tables, going through the gate, getting hit with Roddy with the running knee and all of that, getting slapped with the kendo stick. It's come on, man, let's.
Oh man, what is he gonna say?
What is he gonna say? I feel like that's all I asked for, man. I'm not a hard man.
I think if I'm right and that happened, I think it makes a little bit more sense for me now, because then there's the experience factor too, that he's been through that move once before. And yeah, he took it, and now this is the second time.
You're just gonna negate the WarGames match? Oh no, the physicality. No, man, he's good. He's good. It doesn't matter. He can still kick out of
it. Yeah, we've seen people look, for me, it wasn't even like, I've already told you, I felt like he disappeared for moments of that matchup. I feel like he wasn't taking the same level of punishment, even though for sake of argument, I said, you know what, let's go ahead and just, say that he did take the same amount of punishment. But we agreed he didn't take the same amount of punishment. So they did protect him a little bit. And so I don't even really look at that. And it's like, in wrestling, you can see this shit coming. Like they're gonna try to give us that moment where it's like, holy shit, he kicked out. And the Panama Sunrise of all moves, like, that's not usually a finisher. And now thinking about it, if that is the way that Pat McAfee lost that last matchup, he went through it before. So this is the second time that he takes the move. Okay.
That's how you want to look at it now? Unacceptable, bro.
There's another look, man. It's fun. I think this is your Damian Priest. One day you're gonna come around on Pat McAfee.
You know what? This is what I will admit. If they were booking match that would make sense, then hell yeah, I would say I came around. if they want to book a match that makes sense. If I haven't seen it,
we're gonna
all right. They got to make it. They got to make it make sense. Has to be logic to it. I'm not saying no logic to it. Oh, you just seeing an athlete. I'm got to count in the inexperience that he has in the ring, in WarGames, first WarGames match. But just like, oh, he's an athlete. You know, if LeBron James went in there, he'll come out there and just destroy everybody.
I don't know. I feel like there's just too much hype into it's a WarGames match. Like, it's just not like it's a fight. It's a fight. Yeah, they had the table. He went through the table.
But he's not a wrestler.
But he's been. Okay,
I'm like, character-wise, he's not a wrestler. All right, that's what I'm saying.
But we've already had the Adam Cole, Pat McAfee matchup, and for everything that we thought, and as stupid as we thought it was to say, hey, only 2 weeks of training, what they're selling us is this guy went toe to toe with Adam Cole, the longest reigning champion of all time. So that's the story now. The story is Pat McAfee is this guy that went toe to toe with, hey, he's my guy too, but really he's your guy, Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion of all time. He went toe to toe with him. So he's not a normal guy. He's not normal if he goes toe to toe with Adam Cole. So this same guy comes into WarGames. Yeah, I can believe that this all happened with the guy that went toe to toe with. Once they did that, as much as I didn't want to look at it and say, that's what should happen, that's what they did. So that's the story they're telling us. We're writing. See, what's happening here that I think is we're writing our own kind of story with what we thought should have happened with a guy like Pat McAfee coming off the street. We're thinking, nah, he shouldn't have been able to compete with Adam
I never
Cole,
saw it, but
right?
I saw it.
Like we're thinking like he's a kicker.
But I saw it the following night during that pay-per-view when they did it with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic. Like you saw the inexperience between the two.
No, I hear you. But I get, so what you're saying is that's the story that they should have given us.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm telling you is that's not the story they gave us though. The story that they are giving us is that he can hang, unfortunately, and I agree with you.
Well, you can buy that. I'm not.
But they're
buying
saying
that
he can hang with Adam Cole.
If they want to force feed us this story,
no. But I'm.
And you want to like, hey,
but I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, like
now, hey, Adam, he can go. He can. We're not Adam. Pat McAfee. He's up there with Adam. Do you want to go with that? Because that's the story they're telling us. No, be my guest. I'm not buying that shit. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is, when it comes to him taking, I'm using that as an example for the moves that he's taking and it seems like the issue that we have right now is with Adam Cole, with Pat McAfee in this match is that, hey, he took a lot of punishment in this matchup and then he takes the Panama Sunrise and he kicked out. And like, that doesn't make sense logically in the story. But what I'm challenging with this right now is that, hey, in the story that they're telling us, he went toe-to-toe with Adam Cole already. This isn't the first time we're seeing him in the ring. Yeah. This is the second time we're seeing him in the ring. And he went toe-to-toe with Adam Cole. And it wasn't this fight. Like, if we would have gotten the story that we wanted, and then he goes into WarGames, oh, yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. Like, if he gets destroyed, like, he gets made Adam Cole's bitch, goes into WarGames thinking it's going to be any different, it's not. And now he's kicking out. Now he's going off the top.
Where did all this come from? He didn't make him bleed. Once again, Pat McAfee had like a more victory because they put Bobby Fish in the hospital. They pretty much came out there cool. You know, it didn't feel like, right, you know, Undisputed actually won. Felt like an empty win when it wasn't impactful.
Oh God,
was it? I'm looking at it right now, man.
Well.
God.
I just
like, let's just land on
this is
just coughing. What the hell?
You just
how you not bleeding, man? How the hell?
I just feel bleeding?
Like you went through the gate and all of that shit. You're not bleeding. Make no fucking sense.
None of them did. Though.
No. It was bleeding. Orny's bleeding. Coughing up blood. I'm looking at it right now.
Nobody was bleeding. If there maybe
he got smashed in the face with
out of his mouth.
Remember that's how he got pinned because Kyle O'Reilly planted the chair on his face.
Yeah, but that wasn't like it's not like bleeding or anything. Like it wasn't planned. It just kind of like
capsule.
Somebody was stiff and he got caught. Right. It wasn't like they planned for, well, Oni's going to be the only one that comes out of this bleeding. Right. Like, he literally is bleeding because somebody fucked up and he got hit a little too hard and he's bleeding. So, man. It's just, I just feel like you're just not ever going to give this man. Oh, man.
Hey, man.
Well, hey.
I'm not like that. It's like I said, stories got to make sense to me. Stories don't make sense, then I can't get behind. I can't. I'm sorry. If what they proposed to me, they told me, all right, this is a dude that has inexperience. Before he fought Adam Cole the first time, he had 2 weeks of wrestling. That was it. That was the story they told. And then somehow, I get it what you said, he went toe to toe. So that tells the wrestling world that he can go toe to toe again with Adam Cole. And he did it in his first ever WarGames match. And he took this offensive move to the head and he kicked out. Okay, that's cool. I get that's the story but I don't have to buy it. I'm like, nah, that's shit. I'm good. Don't sell that shit to me. I'm not buying it.
I think though I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I'm hearing you say it. I think the way you describe it, it's not that you don't buy it. Then it's just that it's just not it's not the story that you want. You just don't like it, is more of it because you understand you get the story that they're telling you, but it's just like not your cup of tea.
It is, but it's not the story I want. It just doesn't make sense. Like you told me, like this is a dude,
right? But I guess what I'm saying is what I'm hung up on with the way you're saying it though is like right there you actually broke down exactly the logic of it, and why this is all happening and why Triple H and William Regal and the writers for NXT are telling us this story. Like, hey, Adam Cole, like I'm saying, Adam Cole and him, they went toe to toe, like there was near falls. He almost beat Adam Cole a couple times. And then we're coming into WarGames and now, he's hitting that move and he's able to kick out because they've already had this matchup before. Like I feel like we both understand that that's the story that they're telling us. So it's not that we're not following and we're not like their story, even though they're following a certain cause and effect, like it make that part to me, the cause and effect and what they're trying to build and the story they're trying to tell us, it makes sense. Like just like the blocks fit together. But in terms of it being something entertaining for you and something that you're going to be like, okay, I'm excited for this, you're not there. That's what I'm hearing.
Hold on. Let's take a pause. So you saying when the blocks in there, that makes sense to you. What are you saying? So since they told the first story of, all right, Adam Cole and Pat McAfee, obviously Pat McAfee can go toe to toe with Adam Cole. That's been cemented now. We told that story. So now it makes sense.
To that, right, on the bulletin board as they're writing the story, they're saying, okay, cause and effect. Like, so they had a match against each other. They went toe to toe. To them, Pat McAfee proved himself that, okay, he's more than just a kicker off the street. He's a guy that can compete on the NXT level. And so going into WarGames, he's not just some, guy that's been on ESPN that has this, talk show or whatever. He's a guy that went head to head with Adam Cole and they had a long matchup and he had near falls. And yeah, man, gave Adam Cole a scare. Like that's the story that they're telling. So to me, it's like, it makes sense. I see the story that they're telling, that they're crafting together. It doesn't make it good.
That's what I said.
Like
I don't have to like it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, the matchup that they had, Adam Cole and Pat McAfee at TakeOver 30, that matchup, I didn't like that. I had a certain anticipation and I didn't get that. So I wasn't happy. Right. So now, they've been building up this matchup. I'm like, okay, here we go. Pat McAfee at WarGames. All right. And what they gave us here was kind of like, all right, Pat McAfee did the spot off the cage. He did he went through the table, like jumped backwards, kind of oversold, going through the table, jumped backwards, cool. And then he took the Panama Sunrise and kicked out. Like those are the spots that I remember most from him. And for me, I'm just like, all right, like from what we had before to this, it's like, all right, I can still be entertained and not have it kill that WarGames matchup for me, because for me, Pete Dunne was my MVP of this matchup. Him and Kyle O'Reilly going at it was awesome. We had a couple other table spots too that I thought were cool. You had Bobby Fish putting, I think it was Danny Burch through the table that was meant for him. So that was cool. Like, there was a lot of cool spots in this matchup to where I'm like, it was a fun match. Yeah, like Pat McAfee kicked out of the Panama Sunrise. Oh my God, holy shit. Like, what? But it was a fun matchup for me, even though it wasn't my main event, but it was still a fun matchup for me. I could still enjoy it, and still be like, I'm not a Pat McAfee fan. I'm not like, oh man, Pat McAfee is going straight to the
like
moon. Like, I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying, like,
case. I'm just saying.
No,
that sounds like your boy.
No,
the way we've been going back and forth.
The case that I'm making, is that the fact that he's able to kick out of the Panama Sunrise, it's not like it shouldn't have happened. Fuck this match. It's over for me. Like, for me, that's where I was. I wasn't like, oh, okay. It's like, no, it's still entertaining. It's cool. Him going off the top. I was like, damn, that was awesome. I actually thought that was an awesome spot. I'm not going to say because Io Shirai did it that, okay, him doing it is less impressive. It's like, it's still going off the top and doing a moonsault and risking life and limb, to do that move. Like, just because she does it. So if Adam Cole goes up and does that, oh yeah, it doesn't mean anything because, like, I'm not going to do that. It's like, it's still crazy.
I just would have said, but I seen Io did the same thing. Even if Adam Cole, anybody was up there, because I've seen Io do it before, it's like, I think that's the problem when you have two WarGames matches. Maybe you just need to have one.
Yeah, but okay. So if and I want to cap this, pretty soon here, but if they would have flipped it, and we would have seen Pat McAfee do that first, and then Io does it second, does it make Io's any less impressive?
No, it makes it better because she added a trash can.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say she would have just done a moonsault.
It would have been the same thing. I would have said this is the same thing from last year. I would have brought that up. I would have kept it real, bro. I'm not going to say, oh, she did another moonsault. I'm like, bro, it would have been like she did the moonsault, but it was the same thing from last year. And then I just seen Pat McAfee did it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. You know what? It's fair. That's fair. But the only thing I'll say is Pat McAfee, we have not seen him, like, I don't know, for me, we hadn't seen him, this guy, Pat McAfee, go off the top of a cage to do that as this guy that, I mean, like we said, this is his second match. Like, holy shit, he's willing to take this risk. Like that, it was cool. It was cool to see, like, he's willing to do that. I'm not even thinking about Io Shirai when he went up there. I'm just thinking, like, what is Pat McAfee doing up there? Oh my God, like, that was cool. But,
it's not like he did a, like, I know he can do a moonsault. He's pretty good at doing moonsaults. Like, yeah, his second match, but within those two matches, he did, like, I don't know, 6 moonsaults or something like that. So I seen him do a moonsault. He did it off top of the cage. Whoopee, cool. Cookie, you want a cookie? All right, man. Thumbs up. Great.
Wow. Dude, this, yeah, that I don't get. But we're just gonna have to go ahead and table that and call it what it is. Wow.
You stay on your side of the fence. I'm stay on mine. All right, we good.
Hey man, I thought it was a good match. It was cool to see Undisputed Era win.
That's cool.
Hey, I'm gonna leave it at that in terms of just like, the outcome and how I feel about it, and that's it.
But it did raise a question for me, because I had mentioned earlier in this episode, because I think you asked me about Undisputed. And after this match, after Undisputed won, I jotted down one question. I wrote, did Undisputed Era hit their peak? Because it's like, I can't see them have a move over to the main roster, Raw and SmackDown. I don't see them getting split up, because their brotherhood, as we were just saying, how is strong, just like New Day. And like after winning WarGames, where did it go from here? Like I know where they're gonna probably go from for Adam Cole and Pat McAfee, but what about Undisputed as a whole? You know, now Bobby's gonna be, you know, I guess he's gonna be healing up. He's gonna be off, I don't know, maybe a couple of months or so. So now you're down to 3. So what do you do from there? Like, it got me thinking, because it do feel like they're at a peak right now. Like, I don't know if Adam Cole makes another title run. It's dude, it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me with the Undisputed Era, I don't think they've peaked necessarily. You know, I think that what's next, Kyle, you know, is still hunting the NXT championship, you know, which, you know, we saw that on this last Wednesday's episode. So that was kind of interesting to see. I didn't expect what was happening to happen in terms of, like, you know, Damian Priest and Kyle and Pete Dunne to come out there and challenge Finn Balor when he showed up. So that was cool. But yeah, I don't feel like they've peaked overall as a group. I do still kind of wonder about, like, if they do ever have, like, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly maybe have some kind of friction, you know, with Kyle's success. And Kyle was the one that got the pin and the win in the WarGames matchup. You know, and Adam Cole wasn't able to you know, get the finish, get the pin right there. So from a story standpoint, I feel like that's another thing happening here, is that they put a lot of the focus on Kyle. You know, he opened things up, and it was him and Pete Dunne. And then at the end, it was him and Pete Dunne, and then he got Oney Lorcan, and it was like, hey, you know, like they're really trying to push him. So that was cool. As a group, I think, you know, change of scenery, you know, feels like what's coming to me more so than like they've peaked. I feel like, you know, we're getting to the point now where, you know, a move to Raw or SmackDown, I feel like, is on the horizon.
Will that elevate them though? That's my worry. Like, I look at past NXT rosters that got called up. Most recently, Keith Lee.
I think that, you know, well, it always depends on, like, how they get booked, right? So, you know, that's hard to say. So if they get booked like, you know, all the recent shitty, you know, call-ups, then yeah, it's not going to go well for the Undisputed Era. But this feels like, I don't know. It's hard to say, because I want to say, like, this feels like it's a little bit different, because you've got, you know, it feels like a little bit of DX, a little bit of like that Shawn Michaels. Like, I don't know. I feel like Vince will maybe see this in a different way than he's seen some of the other call-ups.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
I'm worried about what,
you know, Vince, what I'm saying. So who knows?
Them. Like, oh, you're not big enough. Look at all this beef.
Right.
This beef. Come on, Adam.
Right.
Get more beefy.
Right. So but I feel like, you know, just when you talk about they've peaked, like, I feel like that potential to go to another level would be being in the bigger arenas, you know, being on these pay-per-views, like, you know, the WrestleManias, you know, like, that's, I feel like, the next level for Undisputed Era, if Vince allows them to do that, to be themselves on that level. And I don't know. I don't trust that, but to answer your question, I don't think they peaked, because that would still be potential there to reach. That would be a height that they haven't gone to yet. So I think there's still room for them to grow. But you know, we just don't know with these call-ups.
I do see them that they peak, because right now I can't see going to the main roster as being elevated. Maybe for certain, you know, certain members of NXT that can work. Like, you know, Bianca Belair, where they're treating her like a superstar, almost like, you know, the next face of the women's division. But then you have other ones, like the way they did for Tucker and Otis, Chad Gable. You know, just recently, like we said, Keith Lee. Most of Retribution minus, you know, Mustafa. It's like all these call-ups, and you see what they're doing, like, because Vince McMahon sees something else. No, he doesn't have the same vision as NXT. So when I think about Undisputed, it's like, man, if Adam Cole contract, getting ready to end, I wouldn't mind seeing him in AEW, man, because I'm worried about him and being on Raw or SmackDown because of his stature. Because his smaller stature seems like don't really care about the smaller guys. You look at Drew, he's imposing, look like a superstar. And then you put that side by side against Adam Cole, it's like Adam Cole's gonna get lost, bro. To the casual fan, like, why should I care about him against like Drew Ep and McIntyre or like a Roman Reigns? Like, bro, they're on a whole nother plateau right now. And I think maybe he needs to go a different route to get that plateau, but I think it's a different promotion that he can reach there.
Yeah, man. It all depends on how they book them. Like the potential is there to me in WWE always. But then the WWE doesn't fail to, to press us with how they book these guys. So, I don't know, man. It's one of those things, and I don't disagree about that being a thing in AEW. If Adam Cole were to go there, I feel like he would totally be the best version of himself in AEW. Like, they would let that happen. They would let him be him, and that would be cool. But I don't know. We'll see. But to that question that you were asking, in terms of they peaked, I'm just answering that based off of, like, I think that there are more things for them to do as a group.
Within NXT?
And if allowed to do that, okay, so that's a good way to do that. I feel like in NXT probably they have. I feel like they've done everything they could do in NXT. I don't see where else you go with them short
NXT,
of Kyle within NXT. Yeah, just in general as a group is how without the NXT limiter on it. That's how I was thinking with that question at first. But yeah, if we are just talking about NXT on its own, man, like they've done everything they could do. Like they had all the gold once already. They've gone through every WarGames match that has ever been in NXT. I mean, what else is there for this group to do? For individually, Kyle being champion, that's a new height that he could reach. Roddy potentially going for that at some point. That'd be a new height he could reach. So individually, I think that there's still some things that they could do in NXT. But like, as a group, I feel like Undisputed's done everything that there is to do as a faction. They've all held the gold at the same time already. That prophecy happened. So that's it. Close the book. Story's over, from there. So that's why I feel like they would need a change of scenery to then try to reach a new, create a new goal. Be a collector like Kenny Omega and go and try and get some more gold outside of NXT. That would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's when I say if they're thinking about transitioning to the main roster like SmackDown and Raw, that's when the limiter would come in place. Like, no, this is how we think about you guys right here, just in this box. Stay within this box, and we got no problems.
Yeah. If we were making predictions on that, I would say, that's probably what's going to happen. That I would fear the worst, that they're going to see, all these guys and say, oh, they're all small. And, like what Adam Cole would be the one that has the best chance because he reminds everyone so much of Shawn Michaels. And I would say this. I think Undisputed as a group probably lasts a couple months on the main roster. And then, Adam Cole ends up splitting up and going his own route, and then they start pushing Adam Cole on his own, and the rest of them kind of get lost in whatever, like 205 and main event.
Hurt my heart, bro. Stop.
No joke.
You say 205,
no
like, oh
no, I don't want that. I can see it though. Unfortunately, like I can see Vince just the way, like looking at the track record, right, like. Bobby Fish would be screwed. Like he would be totally screwed. Like he's the first one that's going. He's done. He might just get future endeavored. That would be it. Kyle and Roddy, like they'll be like, "Can you make the 205 limit?" Because if you can, we'll put you on 205 live. Like that would be
FaceTime like that.
Yeah, or
be the king of 205.
Yeah, and king of 205, your own main event. Oh my god, it would suck. It would suck. And Adam Cole, he'll be on SmackDown. He'll fight for the Intercontinental Championship. and then we'll see how far Triple H's pull will go. So because that's his guy. That is Triple H's guy.
It don't matter what comes to dead.
That's the one guy
we thought.
I know. That reality keeps.
So
I know. Well, not like Adam.
Oh,
yeah, not like Adam. I think Triple H sees Shawn Michaels and Adam. I think Keith Lee, they just were like, he's special because he's this big guy that can do things other big guys can't do. And I don't know. Vince is just like, he has a different opinion of what a big guy should do than what Triple H does. And
yes,
showing.
Most definitely.
So
most definitely,
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So, you ready to move
man,
on
we kind of just detoured to a debate for the last 45 minutes or so.
Oh man.
Sorry about that.
We might have to do this in parts actually too, man. Yeah. Looking at it like how we doing on listeners, you're getting a full disclosure right on how this all is. So okay, how about this? Because I want to make sure that the listeners can hear the full recording. How about we do this? How about we have this in parts, and we do part 1 and part 2. So this is part 1, and then we continue it off, break off, start over again, part 2 to do the rest of it because Pat McAfee took over the entire beginning.
Oh my God, man!
So yeah, man. So let's go ahead and do that. So this isn't done. This was part 1. We just start. Yeah, to be continued. We're gonna have part 2 for you guys, so you can hear the full recap of NXT Takeover WarGames. But that's gonna do it for part 1. So we're gonna chop that right there. And yeah, man. I mean, Devin, do you want to tell people they can hear us, or should we just continue on and go to part 2?
Because this is a continuation. Okay. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna treat it as a separate episode.
Let's do part 2.
Continuation. See you on the other side, folks. Part 2, everybody. Here we go.